Counter-Strike I've ever seen a dude at that age do, but ever since it's just been a steady decline in level. His stint in North was very disappointing. I thought that was his last chance. I thought that was him supposed to redeem himself. He didn't do that. Now we got another shot here in Astralis. He's not going to get the AWP role. We saw that Device is going to be the primary AWP still, so he has to redefine himself as a player. So big task ahead, but as Floyd said, he's gotten off to a good start. That being said, though, against some less skilled opponents, North Heroic, not really the top tier of the creme de la creme Counter-Strike at the moment. So I still want to see him do well against a team like G2 and potentially also face Fnatic and Mousesports, who are the top dogs at the moment.
I'm not sure what it was. Perhaps it's just on my end that it sounds like Jacob is speaking through a scuba system, but that's completely fine. We'll sort that. In the meantime, we're going to hear from the champs themselves. That's Astralis. What do they got to say?
I feel like we played against G2 so many times by now, so it kind of feels like we are kind of prepared for all the maps since we've been going up against them in a best of 5 lately. I'm a little bit worried in the sense that you maybe feel like too prepared, that you maybe don't look too much in your notes. I mean, you maybe be like, oh, we just played against them like a couple of times and we can remember everything they do, and then all of a sudden they might change something and then you get out of your comfort zone. So I think we have to be really focused on that game specific.
They've got the player about the kid defusing it. No. Oh, okay.
Dropping it. JD has a perfect lineup. He caught the first. Running out of time, running out of chances. Now they've run out of smoke. Tags Kenny. Still defusing. He gets Kenny. Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how it ends.
When you look at G2, I think they have a really solid mix of some really good individual players, especially in Kenny's, Hunter, and Nexa. I think they're a team that has really stepped up in a lot of ways, but when it comes to team play and individual prowess, I'd say that we are stronger in all aspects. I think we have the best team in the world, and I don't think anyone can take that away from us. Then you have a team like G2 or a team like FaZe Clan that when they do live up to their expectations and play their A game, you do really need to play your A game as well to be able to beat them like in terms of individual levels. But I'd say that the team play is definitely a way higher grade for us.
And, well, with Astralis noting just about everything that they need to note right there, this is a championship team still, and more importantly, they're setting a precedent. I think that we're going to start to see more teams field a depth within their roster. Blay, what do you think?
Yeah, they're definitely setting a precedent, and I love the way they've adapted. Look at Group A storyline-wise, right? You have North coming in with a brand new stand-in, right? You have Heroic, who are a month-old team, with Nico getting picked up recently, and losing their coach Lome, like I think a month and a half back. And then you have GT, who have been looking shaky. You have Astralis, you're like, all right, you lose your in-game leader, perhaps the greatest in-game leader CSGO has ever seen. And now you have a stand-in coming in. Hey, look at that, it's like a little pet monkey.
Oh, run along to your imaginary things.
Right. But thankfully, they don't have someone like Hugo in that lineup. But anyway, what's impressing me the most with Astralis is the fact that the way they've managed to somehow include Yugi into the lineup. They've just had a couple of days to work with. And it's a different Astralis we're seeing. It's not the cleanest of Counter-Strike. It's not the most tactical Counter-Strike. But now the individual prowess that's showing. And it's just scary for me just to show that even though they might make a few mistakes here and there, like Tim did point out yesterday, because of the lack of a proper in-game leader, they are still a force to be reckoned with. And I don't think this is going to be any way easy for G2.
So, Jacob and Blay, I want to kind of put this one out there to you now because we need to start talking about specific maps they're in. Now, let's talk about what we're thinking we're going to see here in a veto. I think it's going to be very important, obviously, with G2 and Astralis. They're both kind of heavy hitters in their own way, but then again, G2 has a way to kind of lose things from time to time. So, where are we thinking this ends up? What maps do we think the G2 lose on?
We're not going to see Mirage, right? That's for sure. Question is if we are going to see Overpass or Nuke, because first time they played around in the Road to Rio, G2 took a big chance and they vetoed Nuke, and then Astralis of course picked Overpass and they absolutely dismantled G2. And now they, in the second matchup they had, they tried to play Nuke against Astralis and got absolutely dismantled. So I don't know where G2 is gonna go with that one. I think G2 could remove potentially both Overpass and Nuke. I expect them though to get rid of Overpass so we get to see Nuke again, because that should be the better version of G2 we can see on the map like Nuke. But to be completely honest with you, Trace, I think Astralis already have a one-up right here, you know, in terms of their own map pick. There should be no way that Astralis is going to lose either Overpass or Nuke, which one they get to pick.
And I think you could be onto something there. Within this G2 lineup, though, it was so much of a time where we gave them that cushion to kind of understand and kind of build around what is the idea of, hey, we're going to work together, we're going to be an international lineup, we have to overcome some communication issues. But I think we're past that, and I think that is kind of exactly where we find ourselves. Now we get to see what the performance end of G2 looks like and where it takes us. Now, in terms of maps play, what are you feeling?
I agree with Pimp 100%. I think Astralis is no way they're not going to get either Overpass or Nuke, right? And whichever they get, they're going to be very comfortable on. G2, that's a question mark. What are they going to pick? They picked Vertigo the first time in both the games they played against Astralis in the road to Rio. And both the times, they got completely wrecked, so to speak. And even if you look right now, who did they play Vertigo against? They played against Heroic. 16-13 win, very close affair. And then they lost 16-10 to a Northside who are right now limping along. So which G2 are going to be showing up? If they go with Vertigo, it's going to be a very, very close affair. And that is what makes me very uncomfortable for this G2 lineup. Inferno, Astralis looks so good in Inferno right now, even with Yugi playing, right? Then what's remaining? Dust 2, do they really want to go there again?
Yeah.
They don't have options. And that is a very worrying thing for G2.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Jacob, and I love just cutting you off right in the moment. It feels
it's fine.
so good to me.
So many times. Yeah.
It's such a return of toxicity. I'm kidding. You're not a toxic person. Actually, Jacob, you've been getting a lot of hate.
Sure.
I love you to death. And I also love that inside of G2. Let's hear what they've got to say going into this best of 3.
Astralis, it's a different team to play against. First of all, they quite have the same level online and offline, to be honest. Even though online, everyone is more like a bit more free than you are in offline. But yeah, this is the same team, and that's the annoying part, is that if you play at 30% of your level as a team, and if you play a bit scared, individually, like it might happen yesterday, I don't think you can actually beat them. It's not possible. You need to bring your A game, and you also need to be comfortably playing without being scared. And that's a really tough task, because beating Astralis requires so many things that it's just hard to have them on a day.
Keep them at bay, and there's another one where that came from. They're going to take so much damage. Oh, God, they're bleeding. All of Astralis limping now towards the A side. 35 seconds, but the frag does go their way. Magis opens up onto Kenny. Nexa realizing the time and the damage is on his side. He has support.
When you play Astralis, don't think about winning. You just think about kicking their ass, You want to kick their ass. It doesn't matter how it goes. You have to run at them. You have to not be scared, and you see how it goes, and then you create a momentum. And with that momentum, you can beat them.
Momentum, something I do love to see from the side of G2. But for us, guys, it's actually that time where we see what the map vetoes are rather than you guys just speculating, which is what I'd prefer anyway, right off the top. So, final bets, where are you placing them, and who's going to be winning it?
Get me a train, G2. Take a chance, take a gamble, get train. Astralis haven't been looking good at train at all. Despite winning 3 in a row, it's been in overtime, and they go for the Dust 2 pick. Okay, I understand that. They used to be good in Dust 2. Astralis is not necessarily the best team in the world in Dust 2, but all I can say after looking at these 3 maps, Dust 2, Nuke, and Vertigo, best of luck, G2. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with Pim. That was the one opportunity, the one chance to pick train. Yeah. And obviously, if they're going to pick it the first phase, then Astralis is going to ban it out. And Astralis looked very mortal against Heroic on that train map. They did manage to get the win, but it wasn't overtime. It was a very, very close, scrappy affair as well.
Let me put it into context for you, right? The reason why G2 is not going to pick Train is because they lost the past 2 games they played Train quite convincingly to Mousesports. Mousesports, though, is one of the best Train teams in the world, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. You look towards Astralis, as you said, they won in overtime against Heroic, they won in overtime against ENCE, who's just made a roster change, they won in overtime against Dignitas, who be fair, right? They're not really a great team at the moment. It's still Dignitas, old legends, but still not up there where it's really fun to play. So Astralis have played 3 overtime games in a row on the map of Train against some lower tier opponents, yet G2 still doesn't feel comfortable enough to pick it against them. That tells quite the story about how messed up G2 are in this video, and there's basically nowhere they can go.
Yeah, and Jacob, I kind of just want to piggyback there for a second. I think that you were kind of going on one of those things that you do. So let's just clarify it. You think the Dignitas are garbage? Is that what you said?
That's not what I'm saying, Trace. I think Dignitas is a fantastic team to watch. They're entertaining. It's sometimes fun to watch old legends not be so good at football anymore, right? As well, when you see Ryan Giggs play for Manchester United in the later stages, he was still somewhat decent, but not back to the level that he was when he was a young gun. So same for Dignitas, very entertaining to watch, and potentially could be a decent team, if they get it together. But let's be honest, Dignitas is not a top 10 team, and Astralis should not go into an overtime game against a team like Dignitas. So if there was an opportunity right here, it would have been on Train. G2 didn't pick it. I understand why, but still, it was like the one curveball you could have thrown at Astralis.
The one curveball. We're not even playing baseball, which is insanity to me that there can be curveballs in a digital video game such as Counter-Strike. But moreover, get your digital fingers ready. And by that, I mean your Twitter fingers, everything that you've got. I want to see where your votes lie. We're going to do a Twitch vote right now, right here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it up so that you can see what to vote on. It's either hashtag Astralis or hashtag G2. We've made it Barney style simple for you guys around here. And what that does mean is we're going to tally up all those votes. We're going to have Jacob crunching the numbers on his little math machine. And then we're going to come back and we're going to put a bow on this one before we kick off this best of 3. This is the DreamHack Master Spring 2020. We'll be right back.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive.
Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you gonna want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you gonna be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're gonna want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
DreamHack is a Swedish production company specializing in esports tournaments and other gaming conventions. It is recognized by the Guinness Book of Records and, of course, the Twin Galaxies as being the world's largest LAN party. But guess what? We're out of LAN, baby. We're online. It's Astralis taking on G2 in a best-of-3 here. With me, of course, is Jacob and Student, and we're ready to jump right into it as I read right off the Wikipedia to get us into this game. Guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the numbers that we've crunched here. Some of the numbers that you've added up, Jacob. I know that math seems to be your strong suit. So what do the numbers tell you about our Twitch chat?
If the Twitch chat did not vote 99.9% in favor of Astralis, they are doing something wrong.
So is this your stand you're going to make with Twitch chat right here, right now, in this moment? You're going to
Twitch
stand
chat
up
is wrong and potentially not as smart as I am? Yeah, sure.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, Student, would you think that that is an appropriate response? Twitch chat, I mean, I look at it.
Would you say
these people have feelings?
Yeah.
These people have feelings.
No, they're people. I don't know why being so toxic to a chat. I mean, they have emotions after all.
Yeah.
They care about their feelings.
Yeah.
This is a little bit bullying. They're not experts like you. You know, they might have their own opinions. Maybe they like the memes. Maybe they like G2 59-41. Yeah. There we go, pimp.
Yeah, and you know it is
you where your place.
Very close. It's actually completely off kilter of what you're saying.
99.9.
So, in this moment, if you had to give that speech, you have to say, look, if you didn't believe in Astralis before G2 walked in the server today, what would you say, Jacob? How would you pose that onto the Twitch chat themselves?
The thing is, it's not about Astralis being good, because we know Astralis is good, and we don't really know how good they're going to be with Yugi on the team, right? We've seen them in 2 games so far. It's been looking great, but it could still be the honeymoon period. We don't know. The problem for me is the reason why I don't believe in G2 is the fact that they are not playing well right now. G2 is I would say they're in a crisis in terms of the way they play. The results they're getting, still somewhat decent in the tournaments they're playing. Somehow they're getting by, by winning close game and scrambling all the way through. But the way they play Counter-Strike right now, the way Malik said it yesterday, we know we're not playing good right now, and that is very true. You can see it in the body language on the server. It does not look good for G2. I would firmly believe that this could be a 50-50 game if G2 were playing up to the level we saw in Katowice, for example. But right now, the fact is Astralis is a much better playing team. G2 is not looking good, so to go against Astralis in this one would be a mistake.
And just 5-6 days ago, we're looking at a G2 that beat a FaZe. They beat a Vitality.
Yeah.
They kind of put Heretics down a little bit in terms of a team that was budding and shining through. And it's just weird to kind of wrap your head around. But I guess for us to wrap our head around things, we'd also have to wrap our fingers onto the keyboard and type our predictions, which is kind of what we've already asked Twitch chat to do. So now I want to start with you, Jacob. I know that you're in the Astralis camp big time here, but what would be the ultimate crutch? What would take them down a notch and put G2 over them in this best of 3?
If G2 could find the level we saw two weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, where they were actually playing some somewhat decent Counter-Strike, I firmly believe this could be a very close game, and G2 could potentially even win it. If Astralis is keeping up the level we saw from yesterday, the level we've seen the past few weeks, there's no way G2 is winning. So G2, they have to play well, and if they do that, we have a game on our hand. If not, Astralis is going to run away with it, and I think they will too tonight.
Okay, Sudin, you know what time it is. Let's hear it, man.
I have to agree with Pimp this time. It makes me really sad, but I have to agree with Pimp that Astralis should have this one in the bag very comfortably. You look at the map pool, it's going to be Astralis all the way. And it's kind of ironic, right? They're playing with a stand-in, so to speak. I know it's a 6th player and everything, but Yugi, he's now, 2 days old in his team? And they're still a favorite team over G2. That goes to show how far G2 have fallen. And Pimp hit the nail on the head when he said their body language in the server, the way even Malik was speaking yesterday, they're not feeling comfortable. And bear in mind, they would have been out, if not virtually out, if not for the fact that they managed to fumble that bomb defuse thing yesterday. So I think G2 are on borrowed time at the moment, and I do believe that's going to run out in the server when they face off against Astralis today.
Which is a crazy thing, because obviously I guess I have to give my prediction too, and my brain is telling me, why would you pick anything other than Astralis? But my heart... My heart bleeds for Kenny S, who lost on his birthday, and ultimately I'm going to go with Astralis because I haven't lost my mind completely. Again, 69 days of pure broadcast here, and I think I'm going to stick to my guns here. I love the G2 project. I loved everything that has kind of stood up to be up to this point, and now we're just looking to make sure that they can stand back on those legs that they've created for themselves. And I want to also take this time to thank you both for joining me here. We're going to go ahead and bring in our commentators now. We do have Hugo and Harry. We do love to hear from them. Moreover, I love to talk to them. They're so far away, fellas. It's been some time.
Yeah,
you want to get dinner together later?
Trace. Minutes since I saw you around the corner of the room. I like that they put this big old wall here, so I physically don't have to look at you while you're doing your hosting. But you are doing a great job. Keep it up, man.
So Hugo, if we were gonna do this right, like I think I should high five this side. So high five me, Hugo.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh, wait, no, I'm going this way. I'm looking the wrong way. Okay, Trace, you ready? You ready?
Yeah,
3,
ready?
2, 1. Yeah, that worked. You hear the clap?
That was pretty good. Sound effects on point. The Foley effects artist is in the building. Good stuff. Hugo and Harry, go ahead and take it away from here. We got Astralis G2 in the server. I'm done talking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Trace, indeed. And Hugo, we got a great game about to come our way. Astralis, they are on a 10-series win streak right now. They are looking good. They're yet to drop a game with Yugi in the squad. Admittedly, only played 2 series since, but it has been 2 dominant series for Astralis. So, yeah, I tell you what, right? Like, we were kind of wondering what would happen to Astralis on the back of bringing Yugi in over Glaive. And I think a lot of people were expecting more of a struggle than it's been for them thus far, right? It's actually looked kind of, I don't want to say easy, because some of these games have still been close, but, you know, I still am liking what we're seeing from the squad right here, right now.
Wow, I don't even know what that was. It was a boombox. Thanks, Trace. We'll get the jams.
I'm bringing it up. You just threw it into the room.
Music?
I
don't know.
Leave it on the ground.
We'll put that there. We haven't quite got the tracksuits with them, but maybe your mullet's lying around somewhere in the back. Either way.
Wait, but... oh, no, wait, no, it's
save that.
Just nothing under there, actually.
That's DreamHack After Dark. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this one's going to be fun. As you know, you mentioned Astralis. They've had, I mean, very different games, right? You look at the Heroic game, competitive, 30-rounder overtime. You look at the North game, destruction. So which one is this going to be? Where will Astralis find themselves? Are G2 going to be able to put up a fight? If they are, it can't be anywhere but Dust 2. This has been a home map for G2. They love picking it. They don't like winning it as much, but sometimes they do. So we'll see if today is one of those days. A CT-sided start for G2 and a lot of utility for Astralis. 3 sets of nades. We've got a pistol dropped over as well. Actually, not even dropped over. Magis is just using the P250 Kevlarless, and G2 have had enough of waiting. They wait 5-10 seconds. That is all the patience they have in their racket. They're going to completely flank mid and walk up on this long play. Astralis have no idea what's behind them.
Yeah, this is a very weird round, and Yugi is going to discover it all too soon, and he actually only spots 1 man there on the peak. So the fact that there's 3, that is info that's going to go amiss to Astralis. And now Hunter and Kenny closing the distance, closing the gap. It is just Device and Dupree left. They're saving. They're running away. Honestly, I kind of like this decision. The bomb's not planted for them. They still get money. They didn't take any damage, and so they get a $350 investment onto the full armor.
So right now, what do? Your Device and Dupree, you buy head armor. I guess you get drops from AKs from Yugi and Zip or Magis or whatever, and then you buy Deagle and you give it back to them. That's like the safe buy for Astralis. I'd actually love to see that here, right? You don't want the guys who saved the armor to have to buy the AKs, because then they can't afford the helmet. And there you go, $350 upgrade on the pair of them. It's actually a really good call, because look at the other side of the coin, right? What's the best case scenario Astralis could have got from fighting for that bomb? They probably wouldn't have won it in a 2-on-5, and they would have got what, like 1, 2, 3 kills. Like that's not worth it overall if you look at the money. So yeah, Astralis, they play the percentages, a term we often use when talking about the best team in the world. And, well, many others that have tried and failed to copy what Astralis have provided for us. Quick technical timeout before we get back into the action. But just marvel at the buy that Astralis have brought us in this second round. Double AK, Scout and Magisk, Yugi, you know, got to take a hit with a Deagle, but Zip's on a Mach 10 as well. It's actually a really, really good situation. So Astralis, they are going to be happy moving forward. G2, of course, taking the pistol round. You know, goes without saying. They are investing as well. But, you know, when you look at these buys, which one's better?
Yeah, that's it's like that clip from The Office, you know? We want you to tell the difference between these 2 buys. They're the same, Hugo. They are. And, you know, maybe they're not exactly the same, but in terms of the firepower that they're going to be outputting, this is a pretty evenly matched second round on the back of that save. So this technical pause drawing to a quick close there. And now we're going to get to see the fruits of this save, of this economic decision from Astralis. Double AKs out. Zipnix with his Mach 10 running and gunning out towards long. He's dropped Kenny S already, so a man advantage taken, a weapon to be retrieved, and suddenly Astralis, they're looking like the favorites here in this second round.
Yeah, forget it. I mean, already on the board, forget the AKs. It's the Mac 10 entrying, and the scout down mid does get a spot off, a tag onto Amanek, the one AUG in play, the one rifle left for G2 after that FAMAS was removed from long. Picked up by Zip, who will be moving up towards A. Device leading the charge. A lot of damage onto Jackson. A CT smoke, or at least a couple of them should come down here for Astralis to allow that cross towards the A bomb site. Smoke out for G2, but Device can watch this and make sure no one pushes through. He's got to go through the Molotov, and from the fire into his own death. Nexus on the site. G2 are stacked up here with 3 out of 4 of their players. Good damage done by Astralis, but it gets returned. Zip runs out of ammo after that kill. Nexa drops Yugi in the smoke, and now it's up to Zip and Magisk, who has no armor. This is a mess. Look at the health of G2. We have 2 players with 4 and 3 points of health. The bomb's dropped for G2, and Astralis need to get control back.
This is such a weird round again. Magisk here with this scout could stand to do a lot. And Zipnik's 1 bullet, all that's required, but it's the same onto him, down to the 1v1. Nexa with 4 HP, and Magisk pops him his shot. Oh dear, this is an awkward one.
Wow.
Magisk is going to connect it, and he'll take the round for Astralis. They steal it away with the 4 spy.
Yeah, he couldn't find any of those AKs. There was one on the ramp further up on the body of Device, but he'll get a FAMAS out of that one at least. Nexa, man, he stalls for so long. He does all this damage through the smoke. He gets 2 kills. He hides on sight, and then Magician just scouts him out of the round. He was so low. Couldn't take that bullet. Great work from Astralis to actually find that force out long, and that's pushed G2 in a buy of their own in round number 3. Deleted is Amanek through the door by Device. That's so quick. And Astralis, armed and sat outside of B, tempted, I'm sure. There's only 1 man inside that site. It's Hunter. Rotate from mid in the form of Kenny, gets a scout back. Will get spotted while doing so and retreats to the CT spawn, where he can likely just get smoked off if Astralis want to go for a mid to B play here. That's what things are looking like. Scout drops, the smoke arrives, and Kenny is pushed back. It's up to Hunter, who can't get it done, and now the B site is just open.
That sucks for Kenny. Oh, he does see a foot, but he wasn't able to get the shot off. And even then, to make matters worse, Dupree is looking to deny him this scout save. Actually, it's a flawless round for Astralis in the very, very end. They deal with all the players on G2. And now there's no money left over for the G2 squad. Astralis really turning this one around from the rather slow beginning that we had. Pissed around obviously going in favor of G2. Into this round though, only pistols over here on the G2 side, and a slow start here. As they looked over towards long early, they now group up at the catwalk. Mid to B, looking to come in from Astralis. And they might just bypass each and every one of these pistols that lie on the catwalk. It kind of hinges on Magisk getting this information that the B site is clear. She should be about to grab and actually kind of spring the trap themselves. Device goes peeking up through the cap position and gets dealt with, but the bomb rotates away almost immediately. And so now G2, they grab the scout. That's pretty much all they've got. Astralis are going to grab this 3rd round. You weren't expecting these pistols to find much. And they are going to go grouping up over in T-spawn, leaving Amanek with the scout to hold down this this kind of mid to B rotate out of the site. Meanwhile, the pistol's going to wait back here in T-spawn and look to find anything. And really, like, you know, if you can get an AK out of this, you're happy if you're G2. It's not something you're going to, like, write home and tell your friends about, but I'll take it with you into the next round. Yugi and Dupree in the tunnels, not going to offer anything up, and so this should be pretty clean. I don't see Astralis looking to get too aggressive outside of the tunnels, especially not with all the noise being made by G2 on this side of the map. So they don't. Astralis, 3-1. But now the buy comes in. Now things get exciting for G2. We had to just... Hey, Hugo, nice to have you back on the broadcast
pretty
again.
good. You know, I'm excited to be here. You know, PC just turned off, as it does.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's a hot day. PCs get hot. But tell you what else is about to heat up, Hugo. This series right now.
Wow.
G2 coming in with the buy. And this is where it gets exciting. Kenny is the AWP. There's an AWP in the hands of Device as well. And I cannot wait to see the head-to-head between these two.
Careful with the desk hitting, Harry. I know you're excited, but I think that's what caused it to switch off. So you've got to be very movement lacking, I guess. And that's something that, well, Amanek has figured out to perfection. He's hiding in the smoke. He's standing still. He's standing tall, but not for long. Magis will spam it. It felt too good to be true. And if it is, well, it usually is. 3-1, and Astralis look to lock in a fourth here with a B-bomb plant. Device has been caught lower, which is a bit of a problem. That's an AWP gifted. Nexa could just straight up save that, and that will be the game plan for G2. Already losing B with a man down. They don't want to consider retaking. It probably wouldn't go their way, and they have no kit either way. So G2 giving 4 to Astralis, but they do save a double AWP. So it's actually a pretty good round for G2, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, moving forward, definitely don't want to be spending your entire CT side saving. However, Astralis, that's their exact intention. They'd love you to do that. The first and not the last mid to be you're going to see in this T side. Astralis move out of the tunnels and will save all their guns. G2, same story on A. And now for G2, they got to make the decision, right? Do you want to drop guns over, which you can do. Jackson Nexa can give M4s to Hunter and Amanek, but what that will mean is you're going to split your money, right? Everyone has 3K right now. That would put you, you know, it's better for everyone to buy back down to 0. Or you're going to have, you know, a real difference between your players. And that's not something you don't really want if you want full rifle rounds. So G2 just eco on the 2 players who died last, and hope these triple saved rifles can have good impact in this round. Kenny looking for it, great off angle, catches Magis down lower, and G2 a man advantage. Amanek's going to go for the gun. He will get punished.
Ooh, looking like there might be some re-aggression from Hunter here, along with Jax at long. Kenny can line up a flashbang for them at cart as well. And this runs a bit of a risk if your name is Zipex. He does lie in wait on the other side. Kenny's looking to be that first point of contact by the looks of things. And Jax is actually playing anti-flash on the corner. This is a nice little setup, though, and Astralis not aware that this is something that G2 have up their sleeve. This is nice, you know, we've seen G2 like assemble their chess pieces here at long, and now we have the attackers looking to try and take advantage of it. Flash goes round, Jax pivot, doesn't get flash because he was planning for this all round long. He admittedly wasn't able to deal with Device, and yeah, it's not looked as clean as he wanted it to. My goodness, Device and Zipex, they've dealt with it. And this leaves Hunter and Nexa in a 2-on-3. Nexa, the one man with anything to offer in this round, currently towards CT spawn. 20 seconds on this clock. Astralis, they've got 2 smokes at least. They could drop one of those into CT, and that's going to deal with Nexa well. But this bomb has got to go down long, and it's got to pick up the pace. Luckily enough, they deal with Hunter. They deal with it in time. It started to get a little bit worrying.
They had it anyway. I think the key there to note is the reason Astralis are playing slow there is because the bomb is long on Device, and they know that. G2 know the bomb is long, and they know Device is the last man there. So Astralis, they don't want to be like, Device, just go cross, man, you'll be fine. And then he dies with 10 seconds and loses the bomb. So they need to figure out where that last A player is. So Astralis, they wait the smoke out, they go out together, they kill Hunter, and then Device can cross.
The only reason I say it starts to get worrying is because Device threw the bomb into the site as though there was someone there and started to run long, and there was no one there to retrieve the bomb in the site. So then he had to go back across, and I mean, there was a world in which that got out of hand. There was 6 seconds. That's not like ample time to be making those little mistakes.
But all calculated by the game.
It's all fine, right? That's just how Astralis work. Like, even when they do something that gets you a little bit worried, they still win the round. And here they go, up through Cat, Magisk opening up, and Hunter will answer back, but it's quickly dealt with, quickly traded. And Astralis are really exerting this pressure at the A side of the map. I don't know how Zipnix wins that fight. That didn't look like a fight he should have won ever, but he has. And this leaves Nexa and Amanek in a 2-on-4. They're saving. They're already bowing out. They're saying, yeah, we can't do this one.
That's so frustrating. Zip just runs through the long smoke. No flash, no indication, no warning, just Zip nicks. And he just blows G2 out of the water there. I mean, great trade work up on Cat, Astralis. They throw Magisk at the problem. Magisk gets a kill. He dies. Another player, Dupree peeks out, trades. That's the A-side gone. It's done, isn't it? And then the long player, because he's so focused on the catwalk play that just came from nowhere, he gets caught out by a long rush. So, yeah, I mean, I said G2 don't want to, or, you know, don't want to spend their entire game saving. They may not have a choice, because Astralis has done a great job at just forcing G2's hand every time and guaranteeing the round off the first couple of kills. Saves attempted here. Nexa, good luck. He's out of ammo, and they're just going to keep shooting. They have more bullets than him. 2 players, twice as many bullets. The math is there. And Zipex, he's going to kill him, leaving only Amanek to save. Astralis goes 6-1 up and brutalize the economy of G2. Would not be a good idea to buy right here. If, ooh, they're going to pause. Maybe they're going to do it. G2. I mean, if they want AWPs, this is not the buy that's going to get you AWPs, that's for sure. So likely a low investment, a half buy around this AUG from Amanek, and G2 can fully buy up in the next round with everything they need. Oh, wait, no, that's... Yeah, okay, that's a meme. Yeah. I can't tell where the reality ends and the joke starts. Is Jax joking, or did Jax even say that? I don't know. Was there actually a fire alarm?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I like these, like for that reason, you know, it's like a little mystery. So Twitch chat, this one is for you. You have to figure it out. Was there really a fire in Nexa's building? And we'll keep giving you new cases to go on throughout the day, but that's your first mission, agents.
I will say, yeah, let's move away from it. Half buy from G2. Let's, you know, quit before we get fired, Harry, maybe. Device moving up Cat. The AWP is out for Astralis. G2 relying on just one gun. That gun is on A. It's going to be Amanek, man of the hour. Or at least hoping to be now in CT. And Astralis grouping up to take Catwalk nice and methodically with utility. Zipex holding for the long play. Double setup here from G2 this time. They don't want to get cheese through a smoke anymore. But as a result, because they've double set up on long and they still want some control towards B, it's left A fairly open. Amanek's having to pivot between both mid and that Catwalk position. That can often lead you, you know, if Astralis fake you out and throw a mid to B smoke and then go Cat, I can leave you stuck in CT, having to take those horrible headshot angle fights to the site. Instead, it is mid, and Amanek's here. The smoke blooms late, and so he gets a free kill. This bomb has been lost. Device needs cover. Next is trying to push, and Amanek goes through the smoke. Trades are good from Dupree, though. He keeps Astralis in this round, but Kenny has come from the back line with Jax alongside him. They don't know Device is here, although Kenny's going to try and chase him down. Oh, no, Yugi's dead. How is he dead? Device trades, but he's so low, he needs to escape, and he still hasn't got control of the bomb.
Let's see, Device, what can he do? 8 HP, and not checking to the left. This could be his downfall, as there is a man waiting back at the B-bomb site. Now, the smoke has kept Jax at top mid. Not going to go through that. Device closing the distance into B, but surely he's not ready for this position, and he's not. Hunter going to blindside him. And somehow, some way, G2 with the pistols, they find themselves a second round. It all kind of falls apart when...
I mean, that was a list of...
have his say in the matter.
That was like a list of problems for Astralis, right? The mid to be smoke, they pushed past it. Like, that's fine if you get the kill, but, you know, the one gun that G2 had was there. Amanek gets a frag. Yugi in the 2-on-2, or 2-on-3 rather, is covering Device, who's stuck under Xbox, and he needs that kill on Kenny. If Yugi kills Kenny there, Astralis are fine. But, okay, now we've got a bit more of the story, Harry. We've got a bit more of the picture.
Well
the real
done,
question
Twitch
is...
chat. You've done it.
Yeah.
We figured out the mystery.
The real question is, was Nexa actually cooking frogs?
Look, man.
Or was that just a straw?
I don't think if you... I don't know, Hugo, you know, I like the dedication to trying to solve this one. No.
One of the greatest
there you go.
mysteries.
Look, no. You just got hard no. That whole graphic has spaced... Right. I mean, good job.
That's AZ-esque, isn't it?
I'm 99% sure
like,
it is.
I'd love confirmation.
Let's bring up a yes.
Oh, great work, Elliot, if that is you. You've kept us smiling. Astralis, well, they kept G2 frowning. At least one round gets picked up off the back of that eco. Kenny's back on the AWP as well on the A site, but Astralis don't want anything to do with Kenny. They want B. Nexa and Amanek here with... Oh, they're pushed as well. If Yugi gets a shot, if Device takes him down, anyone here for Astralis, Yugi pulls out a nade, worst timing possible. There is a trade from dupreeh. He's so good at getting Astralis back into these rounds right when it looks like it's a done deal. But Astralis aren't committing. They think there's more players here. Little do they know, if they just pushed off the back of those kills, they would have had B for the taking. G2 were nowhere near. Luckily enough, Device might catch a player up on A, but Jax is not falling for it with B not being lost. Zipex tagged on the cross, and you got to wonder, if Astralis just committed, this round would have likely already been done. dupreeh can still make it so. He's flanked middle. He's taken down that B rotation. He's split G2 up, one per site. Oh, this is sweaty.
Yeah, it's gross, and in a way, I kind of love it. dupreeh on 3, and now looking for a kill at B. There's a man called Hunter who's trying to have a bit of a say in the matter, and he will have more than that. He takes the head off of dupreeh, and Jax comes in to follow up. So G2, they're able to keep that one under wraps. They get that third on the board.
Yeah, like I understand why dupreeh wouldn't want to go to that smoke, right? Like there has been some time, but considering how quickly those fights went down and knowing that that was a double B play and therefore you don't have a mid player if you're G2 because you've leaned towards B early. And so essentially one of those B players is your mid player. Astralis could have taken that round off of the B kills, but instead they will give it to G2. And now this game gets a little bit more competitive. Nice fast pick from Device out long, but it is traded. Kenny in middle, dropping the Jisk up cat. dupreeh through a smoke, and that is risky. No reward in this sense. Device has gotten the kill through the door, but he's lost Zip in the process. This is so brawly right now. Like, this is the exact kind of game that G2 won with the way that Astralis are giving them some of these fights. And so back towards B, Astralis do go. Kenny is here with the AWP. Back through the smoke. Yugi's just committing on his own. Device cut off by the utility. Kenny going above the box. The Molotov coming. He thinks they're in the tunnels. Does he know that Yugi's already out? The Molly's pushed him open. Yugi's missed a shot, and Kenny does get traded. Device with a chance to clutch.
Yeah, he needs the ace if he wants to pick this round up. And a 1v2 still to find. Jax and Nexa on the other side. Device spraying. Now trying to plant this bomb, and they don't let him. They don't let him get the plant. They rush him down, but they haven't found the kill. And Device,
no!
There's one! Oh! The follow-up, Device! What an ace! What a round, and what a play! You thought the G2 had done enough. They rush him off the bomb, but Device is not budging. Oh my goodness! What a round from this man.
What did G2 do? They just pushed the door, but they didn't get the kill. They let him isolate fights. They let him one-on-one them. They could have just pushed. He was planting Harry. He was mid-animation. G2 could have just run at him and won the round, but they set up. They let him fight them. And you don't want to let Device fight you, because look at what's happened. Oh, Hunter's jump just knows, and Hunter's forced the kill. Big play. Hunter knew that position was no longer valuable with his jump getting heard, and he does get away with at least one. Is it going to be enough, though? G2, they love winning ecos. They're obsessed with it. But this one should be out of their hand, even with Astralis walking into what is essentially a full stack. Yugi can come in lower on the lurk. Right now, he's holding for a cat retake from that mid position. dupreeh looking for the A picks. They are presenting themselves. Ooh, dear, lots of damage through the smoke. It's only one smoke down, big gap, and they're going to flash through it as well. Amanek, no fear. Another eco win, perhaps. Device has got to stop it all again. It's deja vu. This is the exact same situation as the eco that G2 last won. Device dinked, dead eventually. Yugi trades, but now he's in a clutch.
Yugi, if there ever was a time to show you got the goods, my friend, it is now. 1v2. There's an AWP been retrieved, and that finds its way into the hands of Amanek. That's probably going to be Yugi's tallest task. He's going for the bomb pickup, and you smooth criminal, Yugi. Ooh. You smooth man. He's grabbed it. He's stolen it away from them, and now he's running the gauntlet all the way to B. They finally realize that he's grabbed the bomb, and Amanek holding for the cross, but it's not a killing blow. And Yugi lives to tell the tale of the B site cross. Now with a bomb planted, it's deja vu. It's this round all over again, but this time, it's Yugi in the hot seat, 11 points of health. Jackson Amanek on for the retake in an eco round for G2. They can't afford to let another clutch slip through the net. Yugi waiting patiently. He's held onto tunnels all round. Both players for G2 coming through the doors. And Yugi lets the first man cross, not able to flick in time. It's Amanek with 4 kills and a defuse for G2.
Yeah, Amanek, 4 kills. What a massive round. He has no armor, he has nothing. Just a 5-7, flash through the long smoke. How did G2 constantly replicate these eco wins? 2 of the 4 of the rounds in this game are eco wins for G2. And like that one was just ridiculous. Like, even with the advantage, even with the pick, there's no way they should be winning that. Great work from G2 though. Flashed out, getting in the face of Astralis. Yugi tries his best, but I mean, that tag from Amanek does actually have resounding consequences. That might have been a transfer for Yugi if he wasn't 10 health. Kenny can't see the AWP in middle. It's actually a scout. Dupree's taking the AWP long for a pick, but won't get the shot. Trades it back to Device. Device wants a bit of the action as well. A piece of the pie, perhaps. He goes middle. Bomb heading towards B. G2, 1 man there. This could once again be a quick-paced round for Astralis. It could end in disaster for G2. Nice leg onto Zip. That's the bomb spotted in spawn. They're actually not going to commit to B off the back of it, but that bomb does go spawn side towards the site. Luckily, Kenny's actually supporting from the window this time, giving a little bit more room in mid for Device to work.
Kenny, his time to shine now. That's Dupree found. They're pressuring him, but Kenny's not moving. And with this follow-up onto Magisk, he's now relying that Amanek is going to be able to hold down the tunnels. Don't be confused. That was Hunter dropping Device down in mid, not Amanek here through the smoke. Don't worry, guys. It's actually going to get mopped up by Kenny. So G2, 5th round to their name. They keep it nice and clean. That's brilliant looking to the future for this squad, because it's an eco right now on the Astralis side.
Certainly a round that we didn't expect to see, given how this game started. A 6-1 lead for Astralis, but G2 have certainly closed the gap a little bit, thanks to these eco victories. Bit of a streak here now of a 3rd round, perhaps, if Astralis can't win the Glocks. And, well, I would be betting on Astralis not winning with Glocks. Jack supported by Kenny's AWP long, 2 in B, G2 not wanting to get rushed and be put into retakes. Astralis don't have any util to get onto a site here. That's going to make things very difficult. And likely just a bloodbath in the favor of G2 at this level, you know, with Glocks. It's a very different case to being, you know, on the CT side with some P250s and some flashbangs than it is to be on the T side when you've got to get through these long-range battles or these tight choke points. Either of them are unfavorable. And in towards the A site, Astralis head. Missed shots, though, gives Astralis an opportunity to at least get a bomb plant in this round. That would be excellent if they can do it. The molly's there. The plant is in, though. There's the money made. They're going to burn to a crisp, but it doesn't really matter for Astralis. That is a profitable round. Device kills Nexa, and even though Zip is going to probably just save his Glock, that's going to be a 6th round for G2 and a big bonus when it comes to the cash for Astralis. Locked and loaded is that round. And now Astralis can fully buy moving forward.
Yeah, still, this comfortable lead that Astralis had is now feeling like a bit of a distant memory. You know, you think about the fact that this was, what, 6-1 for Astralis at one point in time. This is a nice recovery here from G2. In this round, it's Zipnix and Device finding the openers, but Nexa trying to take matters into his own hands, and with a stellar spray helped out by Jack, they've held on to long. It's Device once again in a clutch situation here. It was a 1v2. He's got it down to a 1v1. Jack's on the other side. A Device donning the M4, not wasting time with the AWP. Gets a little overzealous there. Jack swings out wide, takes the fight early, isn't playing the bomb. And Device wasn't ready. 7-7. G2 tying this one up. As we said, this was 6-1 in favor of Astralis at one point in time. So this 7-7 scoreline is a well-recovered half from G2.
Don't get me wrong, G2 have had bad games against Astralis. They've been stomped, but as said on the you know, the analyst, I keep saying desk. It's not desk, but I guess I'm going to use the word desk. Is the fact that, you know, G2, if their players are performing, if they're at the level that we know they can be at, they can certainly compete against Astralis. So Right now, we're seeing that in the server 7-7. And do remember as well, all these previous matchups, all these historic games between Astralis and G2 here in the Road to Rio and EPL and Katowice, that was all without Yugi. That was with Glaive. So Astralis are playing, you know, a harder game right now, considering they don't have their in-game leader in play. Right now, G2 are in full control of this last round of the half. A man up, device tagged, and a man stuck at Gandalf. Could work in Dupree's favor, though. He's out of timing. Check though, Hunter. Oh, it's a messy one. Looked like it was on for Dupree, but not connecting. Hunter now going wide with a couple more before his demise. Device is dead, 2 through the smoke, and G2 will win the half. Great start for Astralis, but they slowed down near the end. Who's going to pick it up? Moving to the end of Dust 2, you'll have to wait and see. Join us after the break.
Broken off when I blow the spot like soda pop. Once I've been shaking, I'm the man if I can't be so brazen. Steep in the technique I propel so the people jump up from the seats and the smell and amazing before anybody can safely afford and the fee that you pay at the door. My rhythm rolls till it overflows and I get so funky you can hold your nose. So if you wanna come see me rip it again, you better come now or you won't get in. It's jam packed. We're gonna light the fuse, stand back. We ain't trying to lose. When you watch, we'll be rockin' for y'all to the callin' the cops, cause we pack 'em in. Let my rap begin, then I move like a fuse when it's crackling. No eagle trip or loaded clip, no keys to flip or bones to pick. Undefiled and it's fresh, cause it gets volatile with finesse. Hip hop style at its best. When I go up to my act, play shakes till the roof is cracked. Make the DJ roof collapse. So when I'm done, get moving fast. Front to back, inside to side, it's wall to wall and it's happening live. But man, I ain't tripping if you should leave. I understand if you need a little room to breathe. It's jam packed. We're gonna light the fuse, stand back. We ain't trying to lose. It's jam packed. We're gonna light the fuse, stand back. We ain't trying to lose. One more time, break it down now. Woo! Give me the mats. Countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna light the fuse. We ain't trying to lose. We're gonna light the fuse. Come on, we ain't trying to lose. We're gonna light the fuse. Come on, we ain't trying to lose. We're gonna light the fuse. Woo!
Well, at the end of the first half, G2, they're able to find themselves in the lead with a commanding little comeback under their belts. 6-1 down, now an 8-7 half, and G2 laughing at the fact that Astralis ever thought they were going to walk away with this map without a fight. Now moving into their T side, they're going to set up down here in the lower tunnels. They've got players making noise and keeping the hurt down on mid to deny any early info the way of the Danes. And G2 now about to rear their head out through these lower tunnels. Looking like this could be a mid to B play, right? You've got a smoke, you've got some flashes. Alternatively, you could head up over here towards the catwalk, drop that short cat smoke, and try and make this cat play happen. If they do go towards cat, it would have to be an all-in play. And the fact that they've still got Nexa and Kenny both floating around down in the lower tunnels, to me, doesn't scream that this is a commitment. And no, it's not. Jax tries to hop down into CT, and he does get down, but it's only his corpse. Dupree on with 4. This is the ace on the cards for Dupree and the pistol. My goodness, he has laid waste to G2. Nexa is the only man remaining. And Yugi, of course, going to snatch the ace away. Doesn't want anyone to forget about him in the server. But Dupree, this was stellar. He deals with Jackson CT. And then it's this little sequence of just dealing with Hunter and Amanek. Stellar stuff from him. And a great game from both Dupree and Device here for Astralis. That's the pistol round locked in, and now we have a tie game once again, Hugo.
Oh, look at Device as well. He's playing USP in this round. He's not even armed, as he knows G2 are going to be full eco in this one, which is, I'd say, you know, he's right. Great read for Device, but a bit of a gamble, you know. Dust 2, you don't see a lot of T-side force buys. You know, more commonly than not, you're going to just go Glocks and get AK with bare minimum util in that third, because far more effective than Deagles and Tech 9s in this one. X up on Catwalk, combined with a Scout, are just going to tear apart these T's in the middle area. Nexa getting tagged at top, and Jax trying to do what he can down lower. G2 trying to at least bait Astralis into giving them a kill at bare minimum, but that's just not happening. Astralis are clinical with their fights, and they will say goodnight. 9 rounds and no deaths in it. Nice, looking for a Glock, or looking for a pistol upgrade, grabs nothing but a Glock, and we'll throw it away. 9 rounds, and the buy is here for Astralis. Here's what that eco from Device allows them to do. Buy up that AWP nice and early in this game. G2 fully bought in round number 3, AKs and all the utility behind it. Where are they going to go?
Well, quite the opener found by Kenny. Not the start that Astralis wanted into this round, and a missed shot from Device. Nade's going to follow up with a nice chunky bit of damage, and oh my goodness, there's even more nades going in. Yeah, Hunter, I don't blame him, he doesn't know what's hit him. That's a triple nade stack from Catwalk. Now, oh my goodness, Jax is almost gone as well. Astralis, they've got a new weapon, man. They've brought artillery into the game. This is wild. There was a lower tunnels threat, but it's pretty much dealt with on the back of the nades. Jax is 11 points of health, Hunter is out of the round, and now it falls to the other 3 here for G2 to try and pick up the slack.
And they're going right into this stack as well. Device is here on the A site with 2 more. And no one's looking at Catwalk, funnily enough. They got to change that one as Jax goes flying through the smoke, only temporarily. He's made quick work of. Device scoped, and a Molotov coming as a player on long. Zipex has got him as well. This MP9 is doing everything and more for Astralis. Finally overwhelmed, but Device has not been cleaned out of the site. And even though he's low, they don't have a grenade to get rid of him. Dupree, if he dies on the flank, G2 can still win this round. If Dupree holds and stays here, he can stop it all happening, but he's missed the timing. He's gone up through long. He's gone for this flank. G2 throwing a mid to B smoke. Maybe Dupree will get called back. Maybe they'll realize, but they're still going to commit towards A. They're just going to go up Catwalk and into Device. Dupree might not even play into the round. Yugi's in spawn. And here they come. Device, missed shot. No second opportunity. Nexa gets the kill. And now the bomb plant's been allowed. G2 have some way been given away into this round.
Nexa, jump scouted by Yugi. Amanek falls as well, and Astralis, they regain control of that round. It looked like G2 might have done enough. Nexa was delivering kills left and right, but Yugi just blindsides him, jumping around like it's nothing, like it's casual. Here's a replay of the nades. Like, this was brutal. Zipnix as well. With there's just so many kills where I'm sat here and I'm like, okay, don't really know how they've done it, but they have. It is pretty,
for you.
Yeah, it's pretty great though, man. Like, one of the things I do like about Glaive going away is the Device even said it. You know, they're just going to be focusing on like the individuals in the beginning and like getting matches comfortable. And I kind of like, you know, a bit of a looser Astralis in a sense of the word. You know, a time for the individual talent to shine through, because this team's always kind of known for how good and sound they are tactically. Well, this can serve as a reminder that they've got the goods in the server as well. A Device running on out of mid, helped out by Dupree. The rotation is perfectly timed on his behalf. He's still holding down middle and does get overwhelmed there by the MAC-10s. This leaves Yugi in a bit of an awkward spot. He's going to try and hold down this B site solo, and he has dropped the bomb. He's actually removed 2. Hunter with a flank down from the Catwalk, though. He's made this round possible. He's put them in a doable situation.
Yeah, you can see Zip just runs away from that fight immediately, though. He wants to play with Yugi. They have util, and the bomb on B, it's dropped. So Astralis don't need to risk anything in this round. They can just wait for G2 to come to them. Zipex checking lower is given a timing where G2 can isolate Yugi in the site, but they don't know where he's playing from. They've cleared out a lot of these positions. Yugi doesn't know they're inside A or B either, but he's going to flick back round. Does a dink, nothing more. The AWP posted will fall off. Zip can kill it with a nade. That's a massive grenade, and Kenny does survive. Another Molotov available as well. Kenny holding down the site and Hunter running for his life. Zip has a one-on-one, and he's not going to take it. Kenny fast on the AWP, and I think Zip was still considering the fact that there could be that second player there. They were not. Nice B-hold from Yugi, but yeah, the setup for Astralis, they're getting a lot of very unfortunate timings in this game. Thinking of, you know, Dupree going long when he's flanking mid, and G2 just come back on Cat right there, checking tunnels when G2 are coming in through, you know, middle. Astralis have been getting caught out a little bit here, unlike them, but 10-9 up. What's the play here?
Oh, well, Dupree, he's sick and tired of waiting around, and with that molly behind him, he doesn't have much of a choice. But one of the things you got to say about Astralis is, man, it's like they're all on like the same wavelength. It is like a hive mind, the way that they play this game. Everyone's helping each other out, and Dupree has his life saved there. A great flash, and Nexa is so blind. Amanek and Kenny left in a 2-on-5. Amanek's caught a timing out through mid, and they don't know he's here. Kenny is the bomb and almost goes down. Amanek could win this whole round, and yeah, they're not ready for him. He gets the kill at B, he turns around, follows up onto Dupree, and he's carved a path back into this round for G2. It's all now hinging on whether or not Kenny can survive the journey, and it's looking good for him. He's ran all the way through T-spawn. Xyp9x is going to try and cut him off, but Amanek's already moved into the tunnels, is already here to help out, and it's another kill for Amanek in this round. He's put them into a 2-on-2 with just the MAC-10. Magisk and Device. Oh, well now just Device. Amanek is on for the ace in a round where it was him and Kenny up against the flawless Astralis. He's made it doable. He's made it more than doable. He's almost locked in the round for G2. Amanek, the savior, the Mac Daddy. And come on, get the ace. There it is. He'll get it. 5 kills to his name, $3,000 made. And it's all on the back of catching that timing through mid and just maintaining the trigger discipline. He had kills on A that he could have gone for, but it was at quite the range, and he just beelines into the B bomb site and wins the whole round on his own.
You'll notice 4 of those kills are headshots. I think only one of them was a dink, and that's because Astralis had low economy and bought up. They fully invested, but they didn't buy head armor. That's a common, you know, way to save some money when you know you're up against AKs, but that's why Amanek pulled that in, right? Astralis think they're up against AKs, psych. Act 10 in play, and there's 2 of them here and now, and an eco round for Astralis when G2 definitely know what they're up against. No way Astralis can fully buy into this round, and now they need to give not only G2 the lead, but a little bit of wiggle room as well. Astralis won't have the money in the next round to fully buy up. Gotta wait. G2, they're certainly doing that. They're stalling out this round time. Astralis are hoping for a kill to come their way with the pistols, but one by one they're getting made work of. Kenny dropping Device. Zip is near the end of his life as well. He doesn't know it, but Hunter's up catwalk with the MAC-10, and that's A cleaned up, taken. And no one here for Astralis to stop that. Jax is cutting off rotations, or at least trying to, and he will get denied. Kenny, careful, you've got the AWP, buddy. You don't want to lose that, as it's going to be the MAC-10s that find almost every kill in this round. G2 up to 11. Astralis still with 1 more eco before the things start to get back on track. So, yeah, may as well keep running the MAC-10. Why not?
Yeah, another eco from Astralis. Gives perfect timing for these SMGs to find a lot of effect. I want to see what Nexa is going to bring to the table with his. Bar's certainly been set high by Amanek. It's a quad catwalk setup here for Astralis with all these pistols. What are they going to be able to find from this? Because Astralis taking this gamble, they're hoping that people come cat. With how G2 is set up, it certainly feels like they are going to try and take this catwalk. Kenny gets deeged on the cross at long, and now they might be looking for this trade. And this might bait them in even further. Alternatively, they just mid to B. And I think they figured this out. I think they realized, okay, it's a cat stack. Let's go. Let's take this site. Dupree, USP. These aren't great odds for him to defend this site. And he falls almost immediately. For Astralis now, might just be a save on this AWP with Magisk. You can maybe justify sending these pistols in just to try and find something. But it looks like they're just going to play bodyguard to the AWP.
Get down, Mr. President. Or at least give me your AWP first. That's the only thing other than the Kevlar and Yugi Astralis are really going to take out of this round. But at this point, take what you can get. G2, they're in the lead. They are 12-10 up right now, in control of this map. Not only a long old comeback in that first half, where Astralis had a 6-1 lead and ended it with 7 on the T side. But now in this half 2, pistol locked in for Astralis, the conversions. But ever since that point, G2 have been clean with the rifle rounds. And I mean, we've had a lot of ecos for Astralis, right? Economy has not been their mainstay. And so quick pause before they get back into the gun rounds, because this game is certainly getting a little close, a little worrying for Astralis potentially. 1-10 in the last 9 months against Astralis, but their only win was on Dust 2. Well, G2 are looking to add another one to the list. Certainly easier said than done, but they are in pole position, 2 rounds ahead. The buy is here. Nexus is still on a Mac 10, despite players being on double-digit money for G2, so really feeling confident. And what that does do is the fact that G2 have been running so many Mac 10s is Astralis feel the necessity to buy head armor, and that's what they've all done with the exception of Yugi. Don't be fooled by his $400. He can't afford it. His armor isn't at 100, because he did survive last round, so... Had a PC crash on the Astralis side of things. That will be hopefully quickly solved. We even had one over here and you guys didn't realize. So, you know, can get that done, sorted. Nice and quick. Back into the gameplay. And this is it. The most crucial rifle round of the map. If G2 win this, they might just go over the line. If Astralis do, then they can still fight on Dust 2.
Well, Amanek fast flashed out at long, and there was meant to be a bit of a response here. The counter flashes are in. Magisk is going to try and get across into the pit, but he doesn't survive the crossing.
Nice.
There's the follow-up nade from Zipex, and that's going to keep things even. Now, the rest of G2, they're looking to hit B. They're looking to go in, and Yugi has to make a stand. He's doubled up, and that's enough for G2 to reconsider. They leave the tunnels. They slow it down. Now they're no longer looking to commit. Dupree continuing to spam them down. I think maybe we stop standing on the other side of the smoke, G2. These not the 2 players you want to try and trifle with. And Dupree, he's lost him for blood. He's going to tuck himself in and play this crossfire with old mate Yugi at the B site. G2 with a minute left on the clock. Time is really their only ally at this point in time. Kenny going to start to creep on forward. Yugi looking to be this first point of contact. Dupree yet to get a kill in this round, is a bit of an unknown entity being in this corner. Yugi swinging out, does best Kenny, unable to assist with the follow-up onto Nexus. So it's a nice clean round for Astralis. They lose Magisk early on, but they are quick and hefty with the response.
Yeah, worth noting that Magisk is in-game leading inside of the current Astralis roster. At least that's what Yugi claims in recent interviews. So I think that's interesting. I'm sure Zonic is having more, say than ever inside of this team, considering he can comm while the round's live, and obviously the fact that the regular in-game leader is not here. So just taking a bit of a hit in his performance in this game, but it's early days in the series. Zip is close on long. This is a dangerous position, but he's going to move away before the smoke fades, so it shouldn't be a problem. And plenty of utility to stall a long play as well. G2 grouped in B with the bomber top mid. They want to take full mid control, make sure this AWP isn't looking down. They would be correct in that assumption. There are 2 though for Astralis. That's something that hasn't been in this game, or hasn't appeared in this game yet for Astralis at least. So Yugi and Device. 1 on B, that's Yugi. Device is on long. He's going to have to deal with his cat take as G2 set up the utility.
Yeah, Device is going to be a lot more free to help here over at short side, thanks to Zipnik's having this very, very close angle. And actually, it's not a cat play from G2, it's an El Clasico CT drop. They do this a lot, and this time Dupree is not able to get ahead of it. Yugi now, first time we've seen him with this secondary AWP, but he's going to come to life with the first. Zipnik deals with Kenny down in mid, and they're already in the site. Yugi caught trying to snipe players at the crossing in middle. Well, they've already gotten in through the window. And so this B site has fallen. It's just going to be the save here for Astralis, holding on to the double AWPs. G2 taking a 13th round. This cat split that they love to do when they go for these B plays, once again, it yields some big results for the squad.
That was the pistol round for G2, if you remember, right? They did the exact same thing. They dropped Jackson to CT spawn on what looks like a cat take, and then they fall out in mid and go for a mid to B. Dupree 4K'd that round, worth noting. So this time, it's a very different case.
Well, also critically, right, about that, when they tried it in the pistol, there was also a player in CT, which was helpful for Dupree because it kind of, divided the attention of the guys in mid. But in that round there, because he's holding it down alone, the moment they get CT controlled and they're not getting shot at, everyone that goes out into middle is looking at Dupree. And that's one of the benefits of having Jax go for that CT drop, right? Is like, if he gets the information, it's clear, you're not even looking right anymore. You're only worried about the peaks from the B site and close left in mid.
Well, another point as well is I'm glad that Astralis aren't like sacrificing their players in positions for Yugi, right? Like they put Yugi in this team, they fit him in around them, and that's good, right? We're seeing, when we see this double AWP, we still always see Device in his default positions, or at least in the good positions that you want your main AWP to be in, right? He's AWPing, long on Dust2. He's watching Cat from Car. He's making Yugi play B, and that's good, right? You definitely don't want, you definitely don't want Astralis to have to change what's working just to incorporate this player. So the fact that Yugi's filling in the pieces, filling in the gaps is certainly positive for Astralis. But what's not positive for Astralis is the scoreline. 13-10, G2 in the lead by 2. Astralis back in with a buy and back in with that double AWP.
Oh, and it's a fast B play, a real change of pace from G2. Perfect time to spring something like this onto Astralis, and with both players falling immediately, it's already a save. There's already not a chance in hell that you win this round. And with Amanek even lurking up through Catwalk, he could cut down one of these AWPs. Sorry, Yugi, that's unfortunate, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Amanek dropping in behind enemy lines. And a 14th now appearing where the number 13 is. That's how this works.
Crazy.
It's pretty cool how they coded that in.
The save is successful, Harry, but I mean, so is G2. This is a great Dust2 game for them right now, right? Considering Nuke and Vertigo are coming up, a map pool that certainly favors Astralis, like most map pools do. G2 definitely needed Dust2 in this series if they wanted to make it competitive, and boy, this is more than competitive. Full save, 5 alive for G2. Only 2 rounds to push them over the edge to let them take their map pick in this series. Only 1 AWP this time. The money is finally run dry, right? Yugi losing that in CT to the cat drop. So Astralis only get away with 1. That really has to be put to good use right now. Device is spotting middle, trying to stop one of these faster plays from G2. Kenny posted on long, pushed back by the flash. Zip takes control. So Astralis, they have B smoked, they've got long smoked. Catwalk's being watched by Device's AWP, and double mid setup as well, or by Magis rather, double mid setup. So everything is covered here for Astralis. And G2 letting them get away with it, at least for now. Not really pressuring too much. It's a flash in mid for some information. Hunter goes for it, but Molly does land. G2 looking like another A take, again with the setup, right? You can always fall back into not only mid to Bs, but if needed, throw Jackson to CT spawn again, try that same setup. We'll see if G2 just commit to the 5-man cat play, though. Everyone's here right now. Magisk is looking to push it, and he's ahead of the flashbang as well. Good shot. Magisk gets 1. That's worth it. The trade is in. Device is posted with the AWP, and Zip is on long as well. G2 are already getting flanked. Last time Dupree did this, he pushed too long, and he went long. This time he needs to come in on that cat flank if he wants to win the round.
Oh, and he's caught a good timing there. Dupree coming in, and Device now repositioning is given a bit of breathing room as a result of them having to turn around and deal with his teammate on cap. And Astralis, they do get a handle back on that round. It's a team ace, everyone pulling their weight for the Danish side. 12 now on the board, still 2 behind that of the G2 squad. But a chance for Astralis to recover within regulation. As we approach round 27, the money for either side is okay, but it's definitely Astralis bearing the brunt of the risk right now. And for them being the team on the back foot, that is not where they want to find themselves. This next round, this one right here, is imperative if they want to keep this comeback rolling.
That's a good time nade from Device, but actually Jax sneaks back and won't receive too much of a beating. G2 are heavy in middle right now. 3 players setting up with the Molotov in middle. That's not going to do anything. I don't know if that was meant to be a molly or it was simply just a fake to distract them. Either way, G2 are moving fast off the back of it, and Astralis have no idea how close they are. Dupree needs to be careful. Jax is shot. Dupree knows he turns, but he's too late. His smoke in his hand and a bullet in his face. It's a double entry into B. That's the round done. Astralis won't even consider it. They won't even think about it. It's already moved past it as this save is happening. G2 with a bomb plant off the back of 2 kills. The fast mid to B. We saw Device go middle last round with the AWP to deny exactly that. And G2 do it 1 round later. No one watching, no one waiting, no one ready. And it's not every day that you can catch Astralis with their pants down. So G2 will take that 15 rounds. Looking to push us over the line.
Yeah, G2 are even hunting, and I absolutely love this decision to hunt. If they even take 1 weapon away, that is huge. And if Device falls with the AWP, that would be even bigger, but they're not moving, they're not budging. Device, Magisk, and Zipex able to stay alive. That is going to be worth its weight in gold here, up against map point for G2. Thankfully, with saving these 3 rifles, the buy is in for Astralis, and it looks great. It's everything they could possibly need. So a very essential save coming through there for the 3 players to stay alive. But is it going to be enough, or is it all in vain? G2 back to the B site. El Clasico here. They've had so much success at this side of the map, and they throw a lot of attention here early on, and now they duck away. They're trying to force a heavy rotation into B from Astralis. And now they slow it right down. They send players back into the lower tunnels. I'm curious if because you can see Zipnix on the minimap is getting like a little bit curious about Long, and in response to seeing so many players at B, I wonder if we see Astralis get curious at other avenues on the map.
That's why Nex is in T-Spawn. He just left B to go watch this exact position, to watch for that long flank. G2, they throw those nades B, and they hope that Astralis over-rotate as well as use a lot of util. Now it's a fast cat. Magisk stopped the first man in. Gonna re-peek for more. Catches Hunter with grenades out. Astralis 2 men up in this round. G2 not giving up, though. They're on the T side. Any round is winnable, even in this position. It's not as clean-cut as being locked out by a post-plant. G2, well, they're locked out anyway, post-plant or not. The kills are coming through. Nexa gets 1 walking through the smoke. Oh, the spray is whiffed, and yeah, he's not going to get a 3rd chance of that one. Zip does clean it up. Astralis find 13. Still 2 behind Harry, but it is looking attainable. It is certainly looking doable for Astralis. G2 with their last tactical pause, and Astralis trying to bring us to overtime.
Yeah, just 2 rounds away from OT. It feels doable. Raised main, by the way. Hunter with 355 utility damage, more than Jax. Wait,
Jax has no util damage.
Jax is 0.
Yeah, that's the joke.
That's the joke. No, I know. I can read.
Second.
Yeah, well, you know, like reading isn't my strong suit, but like also I can do it if I try really hard. So there's that. Like I just look at like every other word and I try and piece it together.
In school, did your teachers tell your parents that you had so much potential? You just need to unleash your potential, Harry. Is that the
No, they just said like he's 16, he should be able to read by now. That's pretty much how that went down. And yeah, well, here we go. G2, 15 on the board, and Astralis trying to take us to overtime. AWP in the hands of Device, and he's got it over here in middle. He's looking to get stuck into this round. Device. Never was a time. He's been having a great game today. That molly misses again. They throw it for the 2nd time. And now they try and execute out into middle with the flashes. Device still posted up here, but Kenny will remove him from this round, from round 29. A key man taken out of it. And now Astralis 3-on-4. Have to try and do the impossible to keep this one alive.
Yeah, and it really does feel impossible with Astralis pulling away from A at the worst moment, right? Zippy's trying to regain lost ground, but that molly is going to signal his position, and Amanek will just rid him of the round. Smoke on the molly. Desperate times now for Astralis. It's Magisk and Yugi in a 2-on-4 for the map. Mollies again do more and more damage, and it's not the damage that's the problem. It's the information that G2 get from it. They know there's a player in CT. They know where both of these Astralis members are. Yugi, good shot, but it's quickly traded, and it might not be enough for Magisk to clutch this round. He jumps, he dies. G2 take the victory here. It's 16 rounds on the board, and they will push us to nuke. Astralis is picking the series. And boy, oh boy, this one's heating up, Harry.
Yeah, it really is, man. G2, they looked great just then. They really did. And for Astralis, it's a bit of a shame that it eludes them in the way that it does, but I'm happy that this series at least has some legs on it now to try and go all 3 maps. I think there's a great chance that we get to see them all, Hugo. And I mean, if G2 are playing like this, if Astralis are playing like this, if it's this brawly, if it's this kind of back and forth, I can't wait. And I imagine you guys can't wait either, but for now, I'm afraid you're going to have to wait. We'll throw this over to a quick break, then we'll be back with the analyst desk and that second map, so stick around.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you gonna want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you gonna be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're gonna want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
So right, so wrong. Bad moves in the heat, tearing up the scene. I'm disco dynamite. Bad moves in the heat, DJ drop the beat. Come on now. Roll with the crazy dance like 1980. I'm disco dynamite. Bad moves in the heat. DJ drop the beat. Roll with the crazy dance like 1980. Roll with me, baby. You ain't gonna say nay. Hit the floor. Feel the sound.
The DreamHack Masters Spring 2020 is delivering in spades, and so are G2, who somehow, someway, take down Astralis on map number 1 of the day for this series. Dust2 going over there towards the French side, and of course, it's Omnic to deal a lot of damage, and really going to be one of our focal points as we got to get vocal about things here on our analyst desk. Again, this is DreamHack Masters Spring 2020, and I'm not alone. I've got Blay, I've got Pimp with me, and we are ready to talk this one all the way through into the ground. But before we go any further, Jacob, I heard you had a good joke about Harry. What was it?
No, Trace. I'm gonna tell him privately because I don't think that's appropriate for the broadcast. So I'm gonna take this one out and leave it out. I don't want to be portrayed as being a toxic dude.
And you wouldn't want to do that. You're not a toxic guy, even at your very core. Even though sometimes you kind of have the essence, the smell of a rotten apple. I just know that that's not you, Jacob. Now, what we can do is kind of look at the rottenness that has came around the Astralis way. How they get 13 rounds. Where's G2 at? What's happened here, Blay?
G2 happened. They woke up. I'm going to give credit for that T side. That was pretty impressive stuff. Astralis could not handle the mid to B take. There were variations of that. They were overthinking things. They were over-rotating at times. They didn't know how to handle it, especially when they got the mid control. Pimp, you noticed that as well. And they had a player dropping down from CD spawn. Yes, they didn't work on a pistol round because Dupree had that insane 4K at mid. But apart from that, it did work out a couple of times. They kept mixing it up. And then Amanek, man, he had so many cool moments. And 16-13, bear in mind, there were 5 clutches there. I think 3 of those clutches actually went the way. 2 went the way of Astralis and 3 went the way of G2. It was a very close affair, but G2, got to give them credit. In the final half there, they managed to really step it up.
And Jacob, I could just tell you're right on the edge of saying something. So what is it? Tell us.
No, I definitely agree. I just want to give our casters a little compliment here because I think Harry or Hugo, to me, they're one and the same, honestly, said something pretty smart right there. They said that Astralis right now, they're focusing on getting the individuals fired up and maybe not so much on being, the powerhouse of the stretch that Astralis used to be. And I think we saw the direct consequence of that right here in the game. Device had a great individual game. Dupree had a great individual game. We even saw Yuki have some nice scenes as well. It was not Astralis not playing well. It was just them not approaching the game the same way they used to do when Glaive was the in-game leader. Also, as Bruce said, G2 played one hell of a game. Despite having this ace, having this performance, that's always great, and that should be enough for Astralis, but this was a very, very messy game. A lot of anti-equals won, and I think this is the direct consequence of Astralis focusing more on the individuals than focusing on the big T.
Which is an interesting talking point altogether, especially when we consider Nuke being the next map of this series. That is the pick of Astralis. Now, we talked a little bit about the picks of bans prior to the game starting. We were kind of looking at this and saying, okay, well, where's Train at? Train could slot right in there, but instead we get Nuke and then Vertigo. So let's talk a little bit about Nuke, Blay.
Yeah, looking at Nuke, I mean, if you look at all the 3 maps, and I think it was a win condition for G2 to even get to the 3rd map, they needed to take Dust2, right? So that's one win condition met. But then you look at Nuke and Vertigo, Astralis going to be feeling very comfortable. The problem right now for Astralis are they're playing G2's game, at least on Dust2. It is a map which can get a little puggy, can get a little scrimmy. And like Pim, you just mentioned, and I think it was Hugo who mentioned that Astralis are playing a much more individualistic game right now, which is something that G2 are like. That's their style of play, and that's working out for them, which is why I think they got the edge on Dust2. Going into Nuke and Vertigo, I think despite the fact that Astralis looked a little loosey-goosey on Dust2, I think the protocols are too much for G2 to handle on both those maps. I still believe Astralis is going to take.
Just a quick note before we go to a break here, Trace. This is the first time we're going to see Astralis play with Yuki on the map of Nuke. And Nuke is a map where communication is important, rotations is important, and team play is important. If Astralis don't fix that, if they don't step it up like we saw in Dust 2 right here, I could see G2 potentially pressure Astralis. Let's not forget, Astralis still the favorites. They should be winning. But G2, they're playing well. So as we said in the pregame, this could be a close one.
Yeah, in the not so distant past, this map was really kind of a staple of what Astralis was doing within their project. We're looking at a Nuke that used to be their stomping grounds. Do we feel that solid about them here?
I don't. Would you get in the lineup? I think it could be a close one. But that being said, he has been playing well so far, so let's see.
Let's see. And honestly, you missed the best punchline of the day. It was brought to you by Harry Russell. It was a joke about him not being able to read at age 16, which I thought went under the radar, and I just think that it just needed a little bit of appreciation. As we head into this break, we get to come back with the culmination, potentially, if G2 can put the second map away, or we will go all 3. We're going to be going into Nuke when we come back, so make sure you're with us at the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020, y'all.
standing here to feel the wind blow.
Well, do we have any Counter-Strike fans in the house tonight? It certainly feels like we might. Hugo, you put your hand up. Would you consider yourself a CS fan?
Yeah, you know, it's all right. It's okay. It's pretty
all
cool.
right, yeah.
Counter-Strike, you know,
all right.
it'll do.
So yeah, Hugo, we got a good matchup on our hand. G2 taking on Astralis. We just saw G2 pick up Dust 2, obviously their map pick in this series, winning it uncharacteristically so. And now we head to Nuke. This is famously a Danish map. This is famously the OG stomping ground of Astralis. And you can see these Betway odds. They're actually painting a picture that G2 are coming into this as the favorite.
No, even after winning that map, I don't know about that one. I'd be impressed if they could do it, but looking at the maps of Nuke and Vertigo, even with Astralis not having Glaive here, you would like to think that they have the grit and the determination and the individuals to take us through. We'll have to see though, Harry. No more speculation. Device is walking through a main smoke. Nexus on the other side, and in the wrong way. He's gone outside. He's got a swap. He's got to go back in. Device getting hounded. Nexus in the backline does get traded by Magisk, who is a second through that smoke, but in the midst of the madness, it's G2 finding every kill. Magisk does get one. Dupree's drop B with the bomb, and Magisk is on a tear, finally put to rest, and Dupree will plant, but there's a player hunting him down. Amanek is not waiting around, and maybe he should have. Dupree with a chance to kill him, but no, the backline has Jax, and he is quick to the B-bomb site. G2 find the pistol round, and they set themselves up on the CT side.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, looking to continue in their stride, right, with a victory on Dust already under their belt. The momentum maybe leaning in favor of G2 in the beginning. And with this pistol round going their way, if they're able to get off to a good start, we could see that continue here on the realms of Nuke. It's just going to be pistols here for Astralis, with the emphasis on a buy in the follow-up round.
Nexus is going to hit all of this. Astralis aren't being quiet about their running towards Secret, so Kenny's come on rotation to try and stop them getting down B, but wow, what a shot from Yugi. Zip does follow, Nexus falling as well, and oh, it looks like it could get out of hand, but G2 do manage to put it under lock and key, 2-0 lead, and the Ecos make quick work of. Couple of kills though, that's certainly going to make this buy a little bit prettier for Astralis, and they've got full AKs anyway. Not even really a bonus round, because G2, they lost the SMGs in the last, and they've got full rifles here, including FAMAS's. Astralis go back to yard, though, with one man in the lobby.
Oh, and with these outside smokes, Magisk does cross and get down towards B. 2 sets of rotations have come down for G2, but Astralis, they've done this all as a bit of a ruse, and they actually have their eyes set over here towards Heaven and Hell. Amanek has just dropped down, and this has given Astralis a way in. This could actually get a little bit risky now. They lose any info outside. Kenny's not even considering this ramp, and that's Kenny removed. Ramp now belongs to Astralis, and this rotation from Amanek out of Heaven couldn't have come at a worse time. Jax didn't even really seem like he knew where he should be looking there, as he's got a lot of angles to bear in mind. This B site belongs to Astralis, and in a very big way. Hunter and Amanek on for the retake, but they're 2-on-4. Their backs are against the wall, and a bomb is now down for Astralis as well.
Yeah, they just run down the vent and do at least kill Magisk and get guns, but past that point, they can't stop the plant, and Astralis is holding on to Secret. Amanek, well, he doesn't survive the round, and dupreeh will find 3 in it, so great work from him with the entries. Astralis getting on the board nice and early in this game, not letting G2 make a bit of a streak happen. And the important factor is, with Astralis winning their first rifle round, because G2 had to spend money on reinvestments coming into that round, well, they can't fully afford, and they've got a force as a solo M4 is all they've got to work with alongside the auto shotgun on Jax. Astralis putting the standard pressure on towards A, Molly and main. Nade in the door. Just trying to keep Kenny late to this position. Astralis throwing more outside smokes. They're just going to default to this every round because it's so effective at getting control. Even if you don't commit behind it, you can just send one player there, and Magisk can be so useful here. Looking towards Secret, trying to spot one of these G2 players poking their head out top, but Hunter's pushed back by the Molotov. Meanwhile, it's an A take. Pistols out for G2, and there's not many of them in play. Only one man on the A site, and he's been removed very early. Hunter drops that lurk outside, but G2 have already lost top, and they've got to come in for a retake with no kit, and only just starting to retrieve weapons. Kenny grabs that gun from Magisk, and let's see if G2 attempt it in.
Ooh, Zipnix up on top of the hut, laying down the pain, helped out by dupreeh. This one's not going to go amiss for Astralis. It's another round up on the board, and another one where only 2 players survive for G2. Now, that's a little bit awkward. Oh dear, Hunter. He doesn't get away. Yugi also up on T-Roof alongside dupreeh. These two, man, I feel like I'm always seeing dupreeh and Yugi together. I feel like dupreeh's been like left in charge of it. Even thinking back to that little photo shoot with the... Well, I think it was like the Crown Prince of Denmark hanging out with Astralis. It was dupreeh and Yugi. So both in and out of the server, Hugo. They're looking like good buddies.
You'd love
that's
to see
going to help.
Brothers in arms. And well, you need a good rapport if you want to play at the top level with each other, that is. Teamwork is a must in the Astralis camp. And they have mustered more of that. 2-2 right now. They've broken G2 with just that saved AK. Going to try and contact walk ramp with some of these P2Ks, but yeah, Astralis are ready for this. They are waiting in the wings. The Device flashed out, has to shoot, but can't control. He doesn't know where they are. He doesn't know where he is. The Pistols have somehow found a couple of kills, but Zip with a spray to save the day. 3 from him. dupreeh dinked, and so is Kenny. Tagged down to 20. This is a mess. dupreeh's going to get out of there with a bomb. He'll have to go back towards spawn. Luckily, there's no issue with time. Let me just work a pick here, and maybe Astralis can close this round, but G2 have disappeared.
I love this call from dupreeh, falling back into T-spawn of all places, right? I think Amanek is going to start to consider that he's wrapping outside, and that is not the case. dupreeh is actually hidden right here under Amanek's nose, but Amanek is playing this in a good spot as well. I don't know if dupreeh is going to swing wide enough to check this, and he's not going to. So the bomb is now dropped. Magisk is coming in on a lobby wrap. And Amanek waiting. Oh, this is the grossest position ever. No one ever checks it. No one's ever ready. And G2 with only pistols to their nave. They find that round. They get a third on the board with the lobby crunch. It's a bit of a classic. And you thought Zipnix had done enough with this stellar spray transfer, but no, not quite.
Yeah, G2, what a massive eco round. How the hell do they do it, Harry? I don't understand how G2 so consistently win these eco rounds with nothing. They did it multiple times back on Dust 2. Their first 2 rounds were, or 2 rounds that weren't separated, at least on CT side, Dust 2 were ecos in the same vein. So Astralis lose some money, but they will have a reinvestment. Device's orb gone immediately. Kenny is quick. He's not even looking at them, and he's still firing off kills. 4 for Kenny. Blink and you miss it. This round is done. Astralis, oh my. They're made to look like fools by Kenny S. And G2 just a kill away from a 4th round. There it is. It's the ace for Kenny with the AWP as well. He picks it up, and he knocks him down. Oh, vintage stuff. Wouldn't want it any other way. Look at this stuff from Kenny. Look at this second kill. Barely even looking at him. Is this going to happen, Harry? Are we in a world where G2 are going to 2-0 Astralis? Someone wake me up. Pinch me.
I mean, I just tried to, and you
yeah,
didn't respond well to it.
I don't want you touching me, Harry.
Let's see, man. He's pinching every penny in this round. He's got himself the AWP in hand, and he's out here outside looking to make a bit of a ruckus, is Kenny S. Let's see. Kenny, give us something stylish again. I know asking for it back-to-back is a little bit cheeky, but they're only pistols in this one. And Kenny, second kill in the round. Come on, number 3. Oh, maybe not. Device with his deagle. Rings out a shot. There's the response from Hunter. He's not too thrilled about what Device's Deeg has brought to the table, and so Hunter gets it back under control. Zipex in a 1v4, probably just left to do the honorable thing here, and that is take that fight and go down fighting. 5th on the board now for G2, 5-2 up, reinvestment on the cards for Astralis, but this is already a great start from the G2 squad.
Yeah, and if you think about how much Astralis default to outside control, right, and love to take, you know, the yard with his deep main smokes and garage smokes that lets you cross really wherever you want in the yard. Well, Kenny is firing off with the AWP, and if he continues in this position, Astralis is going to have a really tough time getting it done. So nice to see Kenny certainly feeling it, but next is in the garage. Back to a more standard setup now for G2. They don't often run the AWP outside. They like to put Kenny in on the ramp a lot. Right now he's on lower, so interesting change here for G2. He watches events for some time. He's checking to see if Astralis have gotten anyone through that main smoke. You can see there's no main player in this round, and G2 gambling with 2 on the A site. Kenny has moved from B to Secret. He can stop this outside path here as Astralis tried to cross. Secret Molotov, and smokes wide again means Nexa can fight once the garage one is faded. He doesn't need to fight though. He's more about getting information from this position, coming whether Astralis have control of main or can get towards Hell. So he's just going to tuck in and look to be annoying, be a nuisance in the backline as he smokes fade.
Oh, that's the bomb dropped by Nexa. He gets the info that it's out here in garage. Dupree, while he does trade it, he is now stuck in the garage. And with only 1 smoke to get him out of this position, there is some potential danger lurking around the corner. And that danger is from this man, Kenny. With this AWP coming up through Secret, he hears players scoping on in. He knows that they're here somewhere, and there is a man holding on to this position. That man is Yugi. The rest of Astralis getting up into heaven, and we've seen this work for them before. There's a double CT vent set up with Kenny ready to rotate up as well. This is an interesting little layout from G2, but they are more than ready for this heaven split. They are so primed, so ready to go. And Amanek takes matters into his own hands. My goodness, the double CT vent stack of him and Hunter nets all the kills needed in that round there. And G2, I mean, you know, when we saw Astralis attempt that heaven play initially, they weren't ready for it. You know, the first time we saw Astralis bring that out, if you remember, Amanek dropped out of heaven, they conceded the control, Astralis ended up wrapping into ramp, and then they took the round. This time, though, they are so ready, they know what's going on. Amanek does rotate out of heaven, but it's to set up double at the CT vent and to just hold for that split play into the A bomb site. That was a great read from G2 and a great adjustment to something that they weren't ready for just rounds ago. So some problems, some cracks now starting to show for Astralis.
Definitely, I definitely agree. I think, you know, when Astralis are going for that outside wrap to heaven, it was so telegraphed, right? The players who are climbing outside, when you climb that heaven building and you don't take the ladder, you want to be quiet, right? You don't want a hell player or a ramp player or even an A player to hear you. So you're meant to be silent, but they were very loud. They were not hiding that. And because Jax had Hell, he's coming that information to G2. The rotation we get there is Kenny coming up the vents. And even though he doesn't provide a whole lot, just him being in the site was another man that Astralis had to deal with. While they focus on him, with that double CT vent setup, it wreaks havoc. And G2 knew the lobby was clear. That's the only way they could have afforded to run that. Otherwise, a molly could have killed both CT players. Kenny, come on, man. That's a smoke. You can't see through smokes. You don't know they're there. Stop shooting them. Leave them alone.
Well, Yugi up on top of red. It's just him and Zipnix left, and there are players everywhere, including a double stack pushing up through Secret that no one is ready for. 7 on the board for G2. And my oh my, is this CT side looking great. Kenny is really starting to exert a bit of a presence in the server as well. Outside is just belonged to him round after round, whatever he's rotated in from this ramp hold. Reinvestment through for Astralis, not featuring a single AWP. There's not going to be anything on device to go toe-to-toe with Kenny without here outside, rather. Let's see, Hunter running the gauntlet, picks up the pace, and that is a huge kill to find. Man advantage taken. G2, they're looking so confident right now. What we often see, though, is a team can start like this.
Oh, no.
That's a bit of a shame. He got team damaged. Amanek shot him coming through the smoke, and Nexa got all confused. Amanek now, you've got to make up for that. You've got to have a hold. You've got to do right by your team, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's delivering. Does put up 2, but it might not be enough. It's all on Jax now, and he's removed Magisk. They know that Zipex was last seen inside of this A bomb site. And so he is going to get the bomb planted. It's down to a 1v1. Jax versus Zipex. And Zipex so often a man that we can rely on in these clutches, and that continues to hold true for Astralis. A 3rd on the board. And a round going their way, finally, after a long hiatus away from victory here on the T side.
Yeah, a crucial round as well. And I mean, Amanek really puts up a hold, Harry. You ask him to do it, and he gets a double at least, but it didn't seem to be enough. Jax unable to close out the 1v1 versus Zip. And G2, at least they have all the money in the world, right? They had players on 12k coming into this round. So buy isn't a problem right now, but they don't want Astralis to build upon that 1-round win. Kenny is outside. He's so blind, but he's about to peek with the AWP. Dupree deletes him. Great shot from Dupree. Astralis running right down outside towards B. Nexa hears all of this, though. Hunter's already begun a rotation, and Jax is in the lower secret as well. This is a heavy setup for G2. A crossfire, in fact, to Jax. He has made them cross indeed. Hunter with another. Nexa on the flank. 3-on-2. Back up vent they go. Astralis want the A site, and it is open for the taking.
Oh, with Zipex up on top of the hut, this main position is a very, very tricky one to get back into for G2. Flash goes in, that's going to telegraph this is where they're looking to take. Dupree has this crossfire set up. Man does get up through the vents. That's Amanek, and he didn't spot Dupree back in the lobby. Zipex removing one, now falls back into the hut. This bomb planted. So they have to swing wide, they have to go into the site, and the mollies come in late. G2, they just stick the bomb, they win the round on the back of it, and even though Dupree gets all the kills, it's the stick for G2 that wins them the round. It's not every day that you see Astralis lose a round like that, and it's not every day that you see G2 prioritize defusing the bomb. So really, a 2-for-1 in this round.
Oh dear, and yeah, you can see the player that comes out of the hut as well. I think it was Zip. He checks close right, and you know, it doesn't feel important in the moment just to clear that corner, but if he didn't, he would have been out in the site faster. He may have even stopped that defuse from happening. So that 1 second check, it holds, you know, weight, and well, weighs down on the chest of Astralis. 3 rounds in this map. That is it. And a map down in the series as well. Dust 2. Not a huge surprise to see G2 win it, right? Like, but Nuke, I mean, this is a whole different ball game right now. Good timing for Astralis to catch Jax with a nade out. He has to drop with the Molotov. Kenny given room to peek, and he does fight with the AWP, dropping one. Amanek trades for a single kill, and Jax comes back up from the ramp. He's only here temporarily because it's a lobby flank that will get it all done. Hunter's mollied off the bomb, and now Jax can continue to wreak havoc, and G2 are just bringing aggression everywhere Astralis try and fight. G2 have 3 different crossfires. This has been such an excellent CT side, and Astralis have not had answers. Magisk, 1-on-3, got to do it all here. He doesn't even begin to know the whereabouts of G2. They're just going to peek him from the ramp and clean it up. 9 now, rather. I'm not giving them enough credit.
Plus, like, fair play to get confused, right? 9s are just 6s that are the other way up.
Yeah, upside down.
Call that a standing ovation, and that's what G2 deserve right now, okay? They are looking real good. Thank you very much, Hugo. Everyone always says that clapping down a microphone sounds great.
Yeah.
And that's encouraged. So let's see how this round goes. Jax has opened up with a kill onto Zipnix and taken the man advantage for G2. A 5-on-4 out of the gate up against this partial investment from Astralis. There's 4 smokes. That is more than to get you over outside. They're going to go ahead and throw these ones deep. These aren't the traditional, you know, full at red, go for the cross into secret smokes. These are the deeper ones that allow you this opportunity to either take garage, go secret, duck into main through the left of the smoke. They give you a lot more options, and with these pistols, I'm sure Astralis are going to appreciate the closer range. I never trust Kenny, man. I never trust him when they're crossing a smoke. I just... Ooh,
oh, he saw it.
Yeah, he did, but
it.
they just get down. They just got down secret. Luckily enough, Kenny gets that info for Nexa, and so he's no longer like waiting for a peek before he drops that smoke. He gets it down early, and now Astralis have got to go through it.
Oh, here they come. There's a second player in the vent as well. Nexus firing off, and he's connecting shots, but the flash is so good. Both players blinded. Hunter has to let them pass, but he can still stop them from getting the plant. That's if Jax doesn't do it first. He's already doubled up. Hunter opens the door, and Kenny closes the round. It's G2 all over the scoreboard, 10-3, storming through this game. And I don't understand what's going on. Like, this is a great match from G2, but Astralis have had really nothing to show us on this T side. I mean, losing Glaive, of course, is always going to be a problem. And these are those games where you maybe just don't have the answers, you don't have the solutions, your game plan isn't working, you haven't had back-to-back rounds. This is when you want Glaive back.
Yeah, and you know, this is the thing. These are the situations that Astralis are going to have to get used to dealing with and adapt to dealing with Glaive's continued absence, and also, you know, moving into like a 7-man roster project, right?
Now Astralis are playing on the same field as everyone else, right? Without like an auto AI generated in-game leader that just tells you where the enemies are playing.
Yeah.
Glaive's like, go B, okay, B's clear. But no, yeah, it's kind of mad.
No, man, and it's great as well, because I think this 3-month period is really going to show people just how important having a good IGL and having like a refreshed IGL in particular can be for a team. Now, that's a nice lineup for Yugi. He's really done a lot of work in this round. Kind of just talking over it, because this should be a 4th on the board for Astralis with the kills going down the way they did. And so Astralis get that 4th on the board. But yeah, it's great. I don't think there's ever been like an opportunity in this same way to like see how much one player can bring to a team. I think like the nearest example you could maybe even look at would be someone like almost recent, would be like a Stico in Mouse Sports back when they like took him in and out of that roster, right? Maybe there's like a link there, but you know, with Glaive, he is still the IGL of this team. He is still coming back. And so for these 3 months, we get to see how Astralis would look without him, and are they able to adapt to reach a level near where they were, or maybe even go up beyond it, which seems wild to think of that being a possibility. And I'm not saying it would be, but it's going to be like a fun experiment to see what happens.
And not just the fact that we get Glaive leaving this team, and we get to see what Astralis are like without Glaive. We get to see what Astralis are like when Glaive comes back. Like, you know, I imagine Glaive's not going to return to pro play until he's ready. And you know, that's what we want. We don't want Glaive coming back until he's ready. And when he is ready, well, he could be bringing, you know, a whole new level to Astralis, like you said. So yeah, I think him coming back to the roster is such an exciting talking point. And obviously the questions of, well, where does Yugi go after that? Does he stay? Does someone buy him out? Is he going to prove himself in these 3 months? So many questions for Astralis, but let's get back to the game. It's a 4-on-3 at the end of the half, and Kenny, he wants to close it with 11. He might just be able to do so. This bomb is all that remains in the back of Yugi. He's walking into Kenny S, and Kenny doesn't miss. 11 rounds for G2 on the CT side of Nuke. This is one that Astralis looked like they had under lock and key, at least in theory, but it could be a G2-0. We'll find out. Hang out and join us after the break.
why we can't control it. The explosions in the sky, moving faster than the sun over horizon. Chance it all to feel alive. We feel the air. Whoa. Chance it all to feel alive. Moving faster than the sun. Explosions in the sky.
We hear the clock, we have to run. We don't look back, it's all been done. Every time you fall, I did catch you, waded through it all, just to find out why. Everyone will change. No time to stay the same. But we could have it all. Now, an opportunity to be happy. Live inside my dream. Hear my heart beat.
And as I said, your eyes, they're not deceiving you. 11-4 right now. G2 with a very, very big lead here. They are looking good moving into their T side of play. And while we just saw the Betway odds there, leaning in favor of the G2 squad, even more so, and I think justifiably so, perhaps unsurprisingly so. And it's a B ramp play to kick it off. Zitnik's and Magic. Oh! Get out! Get out of ramp, G2! Astralis, they get it done in a matter of moments. Magis with 3, Device with a double, and that is the fastest pistol round I think I've ever seen. My word, that is madness.
If Astralis were ever going to pull a game back, Harry, I think that pistol round, that might be it. That might reinvigorate them. That might set them up. It certainly deletes some of this buffer, right? A full eco from G2 and a chance for Astralis to just basically start this half at 6-11. That's something. That's better than the first. Oh my, I'm reeling after those shots. Magisk and Device give us an absolute massacre. No other way of putting it. Grenades up silo do limited damage. G2 are looking for anything they can get in this round. They've spent $0 and likely will receive $0, other than the loss bonus, of course. I don't think Glock kills are an expectation of this round with 3 rifles for Astralis and 2 SMGs to make it clean. And lucrative as well, don't get me wrong. Oh, okay, maybe there will be kills. Astralis is just swinging into the hands of G2. Magist with a double. Device, same story, actually finds 3. It's Astralis taking the round with a single death. That's not a worry. Now G2 come in with guns, and it's the moment we've all been waiting for, Harry. 4 rounds on the T side for Astralis. Was that enough? Are G2 going to be able to find 5? That's what they need.
Going to go ahead and try and deny these outside smokes with this molly, and that has left him a little gap, but G2, they're not ready to give an edge like that to Astralis. They throw a 3rd smoke down, and that's going to enable the cross. Device will put up 1, but Jax comes in with the response, and we're into this 4-on-4. Now it's like a bit of an awkward nether zone over here towards outside. No one's like really sure how they want to play this, and Astralis, They'll try and regain control. They try and send a man up into heaven just to get the info. And the risk you run with that is exactly what's happened. And that is that he falls. And now this outside problem goes from bad to worse. It's no longer a problem that you don't know anything about. Now it's a problem you don't know anything about, and one that's actively getting worse. That much you do know. Amanek's going to set up over here in heaven, but he's not going to go peeking on in. Now, he does have the bomb. That's something to bear in mind here. This is going to kind of force G2 to have to commit to an upper play. Alternatively, they can try and get him out. He can throw the bomb down, and they could look to hit ramp. But I don't think G2 want to overcomplicate this very much. They're going to wait. They're going to bide their time. And now that they've rendezvoused over here in heaven, they're going to try and split this A-bomb site together.
The last G2 saw lower, there were 2 Astralis players in secret, and so that's why G2 won this top site, I can assume, right? The smoke nade combo that went down in the stairs area, it's not going to be the same now, though. Astralis come back into this top site, and to good effect, double kill from dupreeh, make it a 3rd and a 4th, just shut them all down, dupreeh, whatever. Forget counting. The numbers aren't interesting him, the kills certainly are. 7 rounds for Astralis, though. Building and building and building into this game, Harry. 3 in a row. And that's the thing, I can just never count them out. Like, no matter how good G2's T-side could or can be, it's Astralis on the other side, on the favored CT defensive nuke. Like, this is going to be a hard half for G2, even if they are going to win it.
Device primed, ready, raring to go, but I say that, and then obviously he gets 1D. That's just going to fall into place, though. Continues to lay down the pain outside, and actually, as I say that, though, he does die immediately again. So I'm gonna stop saying players' names because then Jack seems to just kill them. Amanek now.
He's
Tempted it there.
considering
Just wanted to see if I could get it to work again. But no, apparently not. Let's see, Astralis, they're going to send dupreeh up through lower. Cool head on his shoulders and an AK in hand. Jax, please don't ruin this one for me. I've set it up. Everything's here. It might all fall into place. And dupreeh trying to catch wind of what's going down outside. But somehow they've all gone by each other. They have missed each other like ships in the night. And my word, now they go down secret, and Astralis don't know. They have no idea. This is where dupreeh just came from. He just cleared outside. This is not telegraphed. There's no way that you know this is happening if you're Astralis. And so this B site can just have a bomb plant go down, no problem. And G2 can start setting up for a 3-on-3 in the post plant.
It's insane how close that timing was. It wasn't the fact that they were just hiding behind the box. They were walking as dupreeh was, and they were like circling round and around the red box, around that object, and just not getting to see each other. Crazy stuff. They don't know how close they got either, but they will get a bomb plant on this B site. Zipex looks to burn the player out from the position, and he will do so, getting the kill on Nexa. No cover for G2, and I'm surprised at that. I feel like Amanek definitely could have tried to help his teammate out there. Instead, it's Jackson lower. Oh, little dig from him. Amanek follows up. He's killed that ramp player. Yugi in a clutch that has to be fast. He sees the legs, but it's the head that gets removed. Jax has looked incredible in the T side. Not just a big opening kill on Device into the yard in their first rifle round, but right there, 4 kills. Big openers. Bang, bang, gets a rifle, closes out the round. So excellent work from Jax. Makes it happen for G2 on a low economy round, on one that Astralis should have, certainly had. And yeah, hey, maybe his grenades aren't good, his flashes are. Well, his kills also, as he entries G2 to a 12th round and breaks Astralis' money early. I think that's probably the biggest detail, right? If Astralis found that rifle round and then took the anti-eco and then, started to build and took a few rounds and cleanly as well as they were, Astralis would have loads of money and G2 would be constantly having to win, 2 or 3 rifle rounds to break that economy. That's what can be so hard on the T side. But because Astralis didn't take a strong lead, they only took 3 rounds, and they lose to an eco, well, they're broke now. And this means G2, it's only going to take a couple of rifle rounds to potentially win this series 2-0.
Uh-oh. Oh, fast A play, and Yugi not ready at all. He gets blindsided. It's Kenny with the double opener, and it might just have to be the save already out of the gate. Hugo, you're bang on. That threat now becomes even more real, as Astralis just have to go and forego this round. 13 now on the board for G2. No money left for Astralis. And that grim picture you painted looks like it could become a reality if G2 keep this up.
Sneaking out the lobby. And 5 alive for G2. It's certainly a fast A play that will leave Astralis wondering. No Molotovs to throw down in that hut, or at least none were thrown down in the hut. They had one on Xyp9x and they'll save it as well, but not in the right position to do so. And if you don't get those mollies down, well look, Kenny just runs out the hut with no issue, no contest, and 2 kills on the max end, just darting around the back of the site to put G2 3 rounds away from a victory here in this group. Now, it is worth noting that, yes, this is a group stage game. 3 out of 4 of the teams here in each group go through, and Astralis is still holding 2-0. They are still top of the group. Even if G2 win this, Astralis are... It's not the end of the road. Like, they're still at the top of the group, right? In head-to-head, they'll lose, and they'll come second, but... it's not like this is anything close to elimination for either of these teams. At least not for Astralis. G2, this kind of is a must-win, and... With North already out of the picture, G2 want to get as high as they can inside of this group. Kenny opening up into the door. Ooh, Yugi's got a tap, and he's finished off the jump on Nexus, started by Device, but, I mean, this round is coming to a close already unless someone could do something incredible. Device trying to stop Kenny. Hunter's going to go through the hut, though, as he fires his shot, and Xyp is very loud on the ladder. That's no surprise. Hunter with a double, and G2 with 14. This is looking like easy for them, Harry. There's nothing getting in the way of G2, but this one rifle round for Astralis.
Yeah, so this is either where the Danes really do just kick it up a notch and start to grind their way back in, or this is where the series could just draw to a close with G2 taking it in a 2-0 fashion. Let's see which one of those realities we end up living in. Early on, some outside presence, but the bulk of G2 here in lobby. Wow. They hold for the push, and Kenny primed and ready to go. He's pretty much already done enough in this round, and that's scary. You try and lobby crunch, you try and hit them where it hurts the most, and okay, well, all right, Magisk, you know what? I was trying to do this whole doom and gloom angle, but actually, he might have just saved the day. Yugi coming in with another, and now we're into this 2-on-2. Magisk has salvaged this round, and Device with 5 points of health finding that kill has now made it look like a real possibility here. Amanek with 100 HP. He does have that going his way at the very, very least, but the bomb not in his possession. And both of these players, nothing more than question marks. They knew where they were earlier, but that has changed since. And Amanek does manage to deal with the first. Device, 5 points of health to try and keep the dream alive for Astralis.
Oh no, he could wallbang him.
Heck realizes he doesn't want the UMP. Device has been so good in these clutch situations for Astralis, and that needs to continue now more than ever. Amanek needs to land but one bullet. And might elect to not even have to give that a go. He drops a smoke on the bomb. Device is trying to play a little one-way, and just about. Device so close, but not close enough. It's Amanek securing the 1v2. Match and series point for G2. Loaded in the chamber. And just 5 kills away from firing it off and taking this series over Astralis 2-0.
That would be mad, wouldn't it? Like, G2, who just got absolutely dumpstered by Astralis the other day in the final of RTR. Like, they got, what, 6 rounds on Nuke by the end of things? This is nothing like that game. They got 8 rounds in a best of 5, Harry. 8 rounds in a best of 5. And right now, Astralis might just fall to them.
Yeah, and obviously it's with the caveat that Glaive isn't here and that Yugi's standing in, but it's like, I think it's such a cool thing to look at because you think about how one-sided and how dominant that best of 5 grand final was. Once again, bit of a caveat by that in that it was like more of a best of 4, but still, 8 rounds across the entire thing for G2. This just shows how important a man like Glaive is to this squad and how the IGL role is not something that you can just pick up and dominate with overnight.
Yeah, but G2...
Still, I think this is like an important, growing time for Astralis. This is, and they didn't come into this event saying, oh man, we're still going to be sick. We're still going to be beating everyone. They knew it was going to be hard. They knew it was going to be a challenge. And, well, this series just serves as a testament to how big a challenge it might end up being.
One final shot, one final chance for Astralis here. Magis has at least found one, but it's a double opener towards B. G2 are going to go back up the vent towards A. I love this. They do it all the time. What a great call. They know Astralis are double stacked. They've seen Magiskin B, and Zip was there as well, although they weren't aware. It was the guessing game, and G2 will guess right. 20 seconds, the bomb planted, and Astralis a 2-on-4 to retake against match point. G2 about to 2-0 Astralis, even dominantly on Astralis' map pick as well, right? To think the Dust 2 was 13 rounds for Astralis, all for this to happen. Jax a kill away. Magisk might give it to them. Nice shot on the scout, but a 1-on-4 is not going to accomplish. Jax will close it out, and G2 take the victory 2-0.
Yeah, and dominantly as well. G2 firing on all cylinders today. And what a performance from them. You know, they take this opportunity to play versus a slightly different looking Astralis, and they come out swinging. They take it 2-0. As you say, we never even get to see Vertigo, which I personally am kind of devastated about, honestly. But if the consequence of that is G2 looking good and setting us up for a very exciting event here from them, then I'll take it. I'll take that trade-off.
Yeah, and now we move forward, right? That's our second BO3 of the day done. We move on to the NA side of things. Liquid Furia is our next matchup, but before that, we do have the analyst there, so stick around. You get to hear from the winners, the losers, and of course, Trace and the guys over there, so we'll see you later.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive.
Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.
Hey, it's me, Lily from AT&T. I'm back, working from home, and here to help.
Hey Lily, I'm hearing a lot about 5G. Should I be getting excited?
Depends. Are you going to want faster speeds?
I will.
More reliability?
Oh, also yes.
Better response times?
Definitely.
Are you going to be making sourdough bread?
Oh, is that 5G related?
No, it's just like, why is everyone making sourdough now? But yes, you're going to want 5G.
AT&T is building 5G on America's best network. Visit att.com to learn more.
All the time that you spend, what did it cost? Run around in the full of that chaos. You want a good life, you should make one. Yeah. You show your real side when the day comes. Under the cover of the nighttime, you're trying to speak over the baseline, but I can't hear you, no, no, no. I can't hear you, no, no, no. Catch you slipping on the FaceTime. Every kiss that I could taste lies. I don't wanna hear you, no, no, no. I don't wanna hear you, no, no, no. Can't hide it, no. I'm riding low. Don't wanna know. Here it goes again. I guess I always knew that you're everything you do. Don't know if it's true. I can't believe what you did last night. I can't believe we danced for the last time. No, I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. I can't believe what you did last night. Cause now I see you in a new light. No, I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. All the time that you spend, what did it cost? Run around in the full of that chaos. You want a good life, you should make one. Yeah. Show your real side when the day comes. Under the cover of the nighttime, you're trying to speak over the baseline, but I can't hear you, no, no, no. I can't hear you, no, no, no. Catch you slipping on the FaceTime. Every kiss, yeah, I could taste lies. I don't wanna hear you, no, no, no. I don't wanna hear you, no, no, no. Can't hide it, no. I'm riding, no. Don't wanna, no. Here it goes again. I guess I always knew that you're everything you do. Don't know if it's true. I can't believe what you did last night. I can't believe we danced for the last time. No, I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. I can't believe what you did last night. Cause now I see you in a new light. No, I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. I can't believe what you did last night. I can't believe we danced for the last time. No, I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. I can't believe what you did last night. Cause now I see you in a new light. No, I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself. I don't need you, I need myself. No, I don't need you, I need myself.
The craziest scenes that you could possibly think of course, that being Astralis with a 2-0 over G2. And, of course, they do a 16-13 on G2's map pick there of Dust 2, also followed by Nuke, 16-7. So easy in the camp of G2. I'm joined by Pimp, and I'm joined by Bled, and they've got some words to say about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we expected. Astralis coming in here just absolutely demolishing, you know, G2, who are currently not playing some great Counter-Strike. I don't know about you, Bled, but quite as we expected, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's almost like they didn't even feel the need of Glaive being in the server. It's completely demolishing the French-Serbian Bosnian lineup. So Danish CS strike again, no surprises there.
No surprises, but seriously, what the freak just happened? How have G2 2-0'd that of Astralis? What just happened? Pimp, diagnose this one. You're the closest that we have to a Dane on the desk.
You know what? They absolutely deserved it. Let me say that first and foremost. I think the Dust 2 performance was a classic. You know, it was going back and forth. It was Astralis playing well, and it was G2 playing well. So that one we can take in and we can see, all right, G2, you had a game against Astralis. They were playing well, and you still were able to win it. So they deserve all the credit for that one. Nuke, though, I think I just got to say before we went into that game, right, we're going to see Nuke being played out by Astralis without Glaive, one of the best yard players in the world, without the caller who's going to call the T side, and with Yuki. You know, I know Yuki is a great player. I know Yuki is probably going to do fine for Astralis, but communication and know-how in terms of rotation, in terms of team play on a map like Nuke is so vital. It took Astralis a long time to build up that synergy they have on Nuke, and we just saw it, got it absolutely dismantled by G2. So we didn't expect it. We were afraid of it to happen, I guess, and Astralis, this got to be a disappointing one, right? That was completely outclassed by G2.
Yeah, especially on that second map of the series. Bled, I'm going to let you get in here and get involved as well, but I think that it's about time that we bring on one of those victors, one of those holders of the big garage. Now, he might be a little bit of a secret down there, but his name is Nexa, and he knows just about every angle you could think of from outside. Congratulations, Nexa. Did you expect the 2-0 today?
Thank you, guys. Honestly, no, not really.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually have a question, right? Coming into this series, Pimp and I were talking about it. Pimp actually brought up, like, when it comes to your map pool, you've been looking a little shaky on the maps you're comfortable on. I know it's keeping all memes aside with a Dust 2 pick. We thought maybe Train would be a map that you guys might pick first, considering that Astralis are very, you know, they're not very confident in that map. They don't have Glaive around. It's a new player coming in the form of Yuki. Why not Train? Why Dust 2?
We were considering it, but we played them twice, best of 5, best of 3 recently, and the only map we haven't played against them was Dust 2, so that was actually one of our stronger maps. So we just said, yeah, let's see how we square off against them on Dust 2.
be honest with me right here, right? Because right now G2, I think when you look at the results you guys have gotten the past few weeks, right, it's actually been looking okay. The second place in Road to Rio, not a bad result at all. Starting off this tournament a little bit sketchy, but now finding yourself as the first place in this group with Astralis. Result-wise, you guys are doing okay, but playing-wise, you guys are not up where you used to be. What is the big difference between you guys now and you guys in Katowice, where everything was seeming to click for you guys?
I think playing online, like our individual level, is all over the place. We are lacking consistency on this, and that's why you'll see sometimes we lose to North with a coach, with a stand-in, and then sometimes we'll do what we did now against Astralis. Like, we need to find this consistency where we're always, not like mad fragging, but making sure that you always get this like one important kill so we can close out the round.
How do you plan to find that consistency then? Like, are you doing something actively in order to facilitate that?
I don't really know. Like, as a team, I think it's more like about individuals making sure they feel comfortable playing online and like just being comfortable in their skin and on the server as well.
All right.
I do have a very quick question as well, which Malik had mentioned about the comms being an issue for you guys when the going gets tough, right? Obviously, sometimes the language barrier and whatnot. Is that even worse now because it's all online?
Yeah, there are situations where like we all kind of panic. We are lacking experience in this aspect, and the guys who are not naturally speaking like good English, they always try to express themselves as like fastest and loudest as they can, which sometimes like ends up creating chaos on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, and it can kind of make for situations like we have right here, where sometimes we don't know exactly who's trying to talk over somebody else. It creates a really weird dynamic. But I want to talk about the dynamic that is Nuke just a couple of days ago to now, and how you go from no T rounds to just closing out a game on the T side. What was it that you guys put together there in terms of a game plan to take on Astralis, who obviously had your number the other day?
Honestly, I think they were just missing Glaive. Glaive is like instrumental to their nuke and the things he does outside and in secret with the smokes, and just like drawing attention to himself. He was, I think he's the best in the world in this, and once they lost it, it was like just easier to read them and be stacked on proper bomb sites.
But did you get a little sweaty when that pistol round happened, when that second pistol came through and it just happened so fast no one even knew that the round had started and ended?
I was the last guy there, and 3 guys were in front of me, and in 1 second they were all dead. I had no idea what happened.
It's like one of those rounds, like how do you even get mad about that, right? Like it's just so fast, it's so furious. It's wild scenes. But anyway, congratulations. Next, we're going to let you go, I guess, celebrate how G2 celebrates. I've seen how you guys do it after parties, and I'm talking about Ocelot. That guy's a character. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Cool. All right. So, Blatt, Pimp, what are we thinking? How do we diagnose it now that we've talked and heard from the G2 side?
I think, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
All right. No, you go ahead. No,
you go ahead. Blatt, take it.
Why don't you go ahead?
Be quiet.
No, but Jacob, just go ahead, man.
I feel like this is how the comms usually are on G2.
Yeah,
to be
basically,
honest.
yeah.
I feel like that they seem to have a very good understanding as to like, it's not like it's a combination of them overperforming. They had a good game plan in mind, and of course they were feeling comfortable. The players are popping off. It was unbridled aggression coming out from them, but they also know Glaive's absence on that nuke map just kind of like allowed Astralis to disintegrate, especially in the CT side. So good for them, from a point where they almost seemed to get knocked out from the group in the last place just because of a bomb defusal. Now they come on top of the group, so I guess they'll take it considering how battered they've been feeling of late.
Yeah, I'm glad Nex got to mention it, right? The absence of Glaive, I think that's instrumental. It's not Yugi's fault that he's not Glaive, right? You're bringing in an AWP player to replace the best in-game leader in the world, to replace a guy that is always, as Nex has said, drags attention towards him. He's one of the best outside yard players, and he's so instrumental in the way that he calls on the T side on Nuke as well. I don't blame Magix, I don't blame Yugi, I don't blame anyone for this loss, but it is maybe the reality that Astralis is facing right now, that some maps are going to be good for them, and some maps are going to be tougher to implement Yugi in that playstyle.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I can sympathize with that, moreover, which is why we start to take a look at the groups as a whole. We now have the results of the group. We know who the big dogs are. Perhaps one of you guys want to take the reins on this one. Blay, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there was a world where, anything could have really happened. There was a world where it could have been a three-way tie at the bottom with Astralis coming out on top. And I'll be honest, I think all of us expected Astralis to go 3-0. But with this happening, G2 plays first, even though they're the same points as Astralis, because if it is a two-way tie, it's going to be a head-to-head matchup, right? Which is going to be considered. So G2 beating Astralis puts them in the first spot. And Heroic and North, you can see clearly there, they have the same win-loss record. But Heroic winning that match against North today ensures that they go above them. So there you have it, G2 going to the playoffs in the upper brackets. In the meantime, Astralis is going to be in the lower brackets alongside Heroic. And that's scary, though, because Astralis, bear in mind, even despite today's loss, they can definitely be a force to be reckoned with.
And just to add a little context to what Blair is saying right here, had G2 lost to Heroic yesterday, they would have been out already before today. Even if they would have won against Astralis, they would have been out of the tournament. They would have been placed in that fourth place. Now they find themselves as the victories, and that was all down to the fact that Nico didn't pick up a kit in that game against G2 the other day. So it's a group that was super, super close. I think a lot closer than expected, but also a very exciting group. And I'm glad we get to see both Astralis, G2, and Heroic play again. North, it was looking all right the first day, but apart from that, didn't really bring anything to the table.
Nothing really kind of sparked your interest there in terms of where Danish Counter-Strike is heading. Jacob, do you want to tell us a little bit how you feel and, what you're thinking in this moment? Where's the heart of Danish Counter-Strike?
I mean, if you, I think I can say with one sentence that North probably right now is the 5th best Danish team.
Yikes.
Who's the fourth?
Let's just calm down. Nobody go to the races just yet. Jacob, explain yourself, please.
I mean, obviously Astralis is number 1. I think Mad Lions have deserved that second spot, being very consistent as of lately. Copenhagen Flames, they were looking super, super solid in Road to Rio, and I think Heroic have always shown now that even with their new stand-in, their new player, they're already looking better than North. And to be fair, it's a very close call, but if I had to rank them, I'd say that North is the 5th best Danish team, which is ridiculous to think about when they're sitting in there in Parken and actually have some of the best facilities in the world. So I hope for North they step it up, and I hope they find the groove. We have seen some positive signs coming out for them, especially AC, a superstar, maybe returning to his form. But apart from that, nothing really sparks my interest at the moment.
Well, Blett, let me hold on. We'll get back to that. Trust me, that is certainly a conversation. Maybe the next guy has a couple of things to say about. We're gonna go ahead and bring in Device. Hello, can you hear us, Device?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can't hear you. It's always a good thing for us to run one of those comm checks, I think. Listen, man, tough day in the office. I feel like we get to chat every other day. So at least on this one, things shaped up probably not how you were expecting. Things looked a little bit more wonky there. Talk to me about Nuke.
Yeah, I guess that it's no secret that we haven't really practiced that much with Jacob, and like our expectations for the group stage here was basically just to go through to the playoffs. We literally didn't have any practice after the Road to Rio. So yeah, I think overall we have to be satisfied with the result. I think that today we didn't really show our best game. We lost a lot of eco rounds. I know for myself I didn't play as well as I wanted to, and I know that we have some problems because we haven't had time enough to show Jacob all of our stuff, that we are relying a little bit more on the individual level, and I think that has worked out in the 2 previous games, but today we just got outclassed a little bit in that regard.
It's not a secret that it's very easy for us analysts to overanalyze stuff sometimes. How big of a problem would you say it is that the absence of Glaive came into play on Nuke, right? We know him to be a very versatile player. We know him to be very aggressive towards Yard. Obviously, Yugi is not the same type. Is Glaive missing a lot of Nuke as it is right now?
I guess that this was our first Nuke, if I remember correctly. So I think that Magisk is filling his role, as you probably saw. And yeah, me and Glaive have been playing that position together for a long time, especially on the CT side. So, I mean, like, of course, it's a big absence, and I think, especially here in the beginning, I think that we really feel that we miss him, right? And we need him a little bit on the server, but it's also an issue that comes from not having time enough to prepare Jacob well enough. And as you said, it's a different player. We're trying to see how everything will fit in, and which spots Jacob is going to play, which spots Emil gonna change to.
Brings me to the next question. Sorry, just to round it up here. You personally have been playing pretty well the past week, I'd say, maybe the past 2 weeks as well. You had a rough start to the online circuit, I'd say, but you're getting there. Glaive's absent. Does that free more space for you? Are you allowed to take more chances, more risk than you were initially, or is it just a coincidence that you're finding your form right now?
I think it's more a coincidence. I think playing with Glaive as well, it was easier for me to take chances because we've been playing together, as I said, with this lineup at least for 2 years and some months. So we know each other in and out. I know the tendencies. We don't really have to communicate that much, and right now we really have to communicate everything we do. So I would say it was probably easier. If it allows me to take more risk, probably, but I'm not sure I'm using that. I want to play on the same fundamentals that we've always played on.
All right.
When it comes to the to like today's performance, right? Obviously, it's a disappointing loss and all of that. But considering you were guaranteed to go through to the playoffs after winning yesterday, did that kind of maybe mentally affect you guys a little bit? Maybe you guys were like, not really going all out today. Also allowed you to go for the nuke pick, which you haven't really played with Yugi earlier. Did that allow you the freedom to go for a more loose place, so to speak, today?
Mentally, I wouldn't say that we were at a disadvantage. I think that G2 knew they had to beat us, right? Not going through, but they knew they had to beat us to get a mental advantage coming through to the next game. So I think they had more on the line for sure. I think it's the PC almost fell down. Anyways,
be careful, man.
As I said, I think that it was a game that mattered maybe a little bit more for G2, and also they got the first place in the group. I think that it's just tough right now. It's tough for us as players. There's a lot of fatigue, and as you saw, Glaive, which is one of my best friends, is out of the server. So we're just trying to do our best, and I think that we can be satisfied overall, as you said. But of course, we're going to be disappointed when we lose.
So, I mean, we've ran into this scenario before where, players have left a long time standing roster. Device, is it something, and be honest, is it something where you even kind of miss his voice in a way? Like he's just absent, something
sure.
that's been there, kind of like a guiding hand almost. It's kind of been there that whole time. I imagine a weird one.
I mean, for us, especially me, Sip, Glaive, also Magisk, we've been together for a long time, right? So usually just the thought of not playing together with a teammate is kind of tough. So yeah, of course you miss him. I guess, as you said, left the team. It's not really the truth. He is just burned out, right? He's gonna come back to the team for sure. That's the plan, right? So you never know how stress impacts a player and a person. So we're just hoping for the best, right? And I know for myself, it was really tough to come back. So of course we miss him, and hopefully we can put on a show that he can watch when he's trying to rest.
When he's trying to get his relaxation on. Hey, I've got one last one for you. I promise we'll let you go, Debbie. I swear to you. But my question is more so about the future, right? If we look at what Astralis is doing, and you guys are building depth in a lineup, right? Let's just say things continue online like this. Is it possible that Astralis would be ahead of the curve, being able to play, this player this day, this player this day? Or do you see it kind of evolving that way? Do you see it maturing that way, maybe?
There's a lot of opportunities. We don't really know 100% which way we're going to go with it. Right now, as you said, there's a lot of games, so it could be a really big advantage to actually sit out players at different tournaments to be prepared for the right tournaments. But you also have to consider that you lose major points if you change too much, stuff like that. So we're just trying to figure out how we can use the rules that are in place currently, right? Because there's no team doing this. So we kind of have to figure out ourselves and kind of go be the first movers, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And honestly, I'm enjoying watching that evolution outside. So thank you very much for your time, Device. Commiseration. Sorry for your loss to G2. I guess these things happen.
See you guys.
Adios. All right. So we've got Device out of here. We'll continue on with the show. That was pretty informative. What'd you think, Jacob? What'd you think, Blair?
Yeah, I guess it is informative. I mean, I think he's spot on when he's saying that this is a problem we've had for a long time. I can even attest to some of the players I played with in 2015, 16, maybe even before that they could have used a break if it was possible. I think it's very interesting when he's saying that he's trying, Astralis as an organization and as a team is trying to deal with the rules they have right now, right? There's so much going on within the scene. Astralis are first movers, of course. Are the tournaments going to follow up with different rules so they can allow Astralis and potential new teams to do the same thing? We don't really know what the landscape is right now. We can just wait and follow the progress. So it is very much interesting to follow. And I think Astralis is onto something when they at least have one, potentially two players that can step in when a guy like Device, when a guy like Glaive, when a guy like Supnik for that matter needs a break.
What do you think, Blair? Where do you think?
I agree.
Where do we stand?
I agree with it. I agree with him there, where it's like, I don't think obviously I don't think Astralis can know 100% all the repercussions and what can really happen with a 7-man roster, right? They are taking a very bold step into a concept which has been in Counter-Strike for a very long time, and it's not really worked on out. But if there's one org who has the right system in place, the right people behind the team, like you have someone like Zonic, I mean, Jesus Christ, what more do you want? You have the entire infrastructure of Astralis behind the org. And this is, I feel like, a low-risk testing ground, so to speak, for the system, with Yugi coming in. And it's a perfect time. Glaive, he's a little burned out. You just won the road to Rio. You got the RMR points. You have a little bit of a lighter period of Counter-Strike games where it's not too much at stake. And then you have the player break. So this is the ideal time, in my opinion, to try out this 7-player system they have here. And I think a lot of teams are going to be keeping an eye on how this plays out for Astralis. And that might actually dictate the future of Counter-Strike rosters down the line.
It certainly will, and that's kind of what I was hinting at there with Device. Now, what we should do is pick up on Group A once more, just to kind of close this one out completely and show everyone where we stand at the end of the day. I think it's pretty apparent as to who wins the group. What do you guys think?
Yeah, as before, it's very interesting, right? G2, they probably should have been out before they even played today against Astralis, and now they end up winning the entire group. To those of you who didn't see it, you can probably head in and watch a VOD of that game. G2 playing against Heroic. Honestly speaking, there was no way G2 should have won that. Heroic messed up massively in the last and final map on Mirage, so go watch that one for yourself. Had Heroic not done that, G2 would have been out, even with a victory against Astralis. So it's a very close, very interesting group, but at the end of the day, G2 ends up as #1, and I think they deserve it, right? The display they put on today against Astralis was very strong.
So you're saying Astralis, Heroic, anyone else than North, right? Is that kind of what we're going with?
I think if you had to do a power ranking right now in Danish Counter-Strike, I would put Astralis as #1. I'd put Mad Lions as #2. I'd put Copenhagen Flames, Heroic, 3rd, 4th, I don't know. And then the 5th place, you know, North can fight for that one, who, I don't know, with whoever is down there.
Just
whoever is down there.
Just wanted to know. Anyway, Motorhead, you got any more for us, or should I get us out of here? What do you think?
I can give you an ace of spades if you want, but I think for G2, honestly, they're going to be thanking the stars, right, that it came out first. Forget coming out first, they managed to qualify in a group where Astralis had a stand-in, North have a stand-in, and Heroic are just pretty much a brand new team looking to make a statement. So I think they got given an opportunity, a small little, Lady Luck smiling down on them yesterday, and they grabbed onto it and they came out in first. So congratulations to them. And I agree with Pimp. I call you Pomp. Almost
Pomp.
There.
I can understand.
I don't even know what Pomp
Potter Pimp, it's like a Potter Pimp, like hybrid sort of thing.
I want to see that happen once. But yeah, on the desk.
No. Here's what I think. Here's what I actually think, Blay. Here's what we're gonna try to steer this towards a real rapid fire for you two. 3, 2, 1. Liquid, Furia.
Furia.
Jacob?
Oh, you want me to? Well, Liquid.
Oh my goodness, you guys are killing me. We gotta go. We're gonna come back here shortly. It's gonna be about an hour's time before we jump into Liquid Furia, the next game here at DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. We will see you all there. Make sure you don't miss us. We'll be right back then.
Flashbang's affected. They have got through the smoke wall here, but Chris J, he is the final boss of the bomb site.
Now Spitty and Chris J to keep Mousesports alive.
Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God!
Can they actually close this out? Boom, Chris.
Fantastic way to start, and no scopes on him himself. Absolutely saving Mousesports.